press 1 to hear important instructions.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
I guess that'll have to do. Gosh, that a whole time, huh? It'll have to be okay. It'll have to work. Yeah, let's go. What up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome. How y'all feeling tonight? Friday. Happy Friday to Tim Black Wolfpack, everybody in the house. Glad you could be here tonight. Yo, let me go make sure that we're live on all the platforms. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Make sure we're there. Oh, I got Facebook in the house. What's up, George? What's up, Freddie? What's up, Christy? What's up, Carmen? Can you hear me, guys? This thing's not scrolling. Let me make sure. Amanda, what's up, Kara? Carrie? Dion? Brendan? Lisa King, can you guys hear me? I think if you couldn't, I think you tell me. At least I hope you tell me. What up, people? Lisa King. Hey, what's up, Bibby? What's up, Uli? What's up, Evan? Yes. Christy, Freddie. I'm getting some responses now. There we go. What's up, guys? Wow. Wow. Okay. Dolores and Sandwoods. Karen said, yep. Karen said, yeah, you the man. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, said Amanda Bennett. Margarita Silver Potts. Dolores Pierce and Brendan Olsen. And Ines El Saban. What's up, Ines? Good to have you. Welcome. Yes. Now let's check on YouTube. YouTube, I'll be live. Ball for Kids and Lee Cox and Tracy and Oopsie. What's up, Oops? Elder Millennial, Marcus Villain, D. Scully, Buck. What's up, Buck? Go to the Speak On It group. Thank you, Buck, man. You remind me to say it just by seeing your username. Go to the Speak On It group. Tim Black Speak On It group on Facebook. Become a member, guys. What's up, New York 99er? And Frederick Murphy and Tom Zito and David Massell and Lisa Mojica Stondi, Tatiana and Sarah Riley and Robin W. and Notary and Mark Sarvis. What's up, Sarvis? Burned Out One. And Matt Hines. Yeah, we're about to do this, Ryan. I didn't go hit my baby. And Gary Webb. Millie Denini. Not Vanilli, but Denini. Denny. Yeah, Denny, Tim. Charlie Brent. Okay, I'm just going to have to go on faith that my people on Periscope can hear me too, because I can't stream Periscope right now. Can't really do it. Maybe if I went on Twitter. Guys, what's up? How y'all feeling, man? It's Freedom Friday. You know what Freedom Fridays are, right? That's when you call up to the show and you get to speak your mind. Let me put the phone number up now so people can get in. Phone number is 319-527-6212. Number hasn't changed in a while, but just in case you don't have it, there it is. 319-527-6212. All right, guys. So what we do on Freedom Friday is I kind of open up the conversations by throwing a couple stories out there, a couple of news items that people may have missed because they're busy. They have this thing called jobs and lives and families. And they have things to do, so sometimes they don't have time to pay attention to all the news. This week has been really tough for me, and so I haven't really been on. I kind of unplugged today. I had to for sanity's purposes. I had to do a little bit of unplugging today. So, and as you know, we didn't have a show yesterday. So it was really good to kind of take a break. Everybody needs a break sometime to kind of detox a little bit. I didn't take a vacation this year, but that's okay. I love what I do. We do what we love. And I got some stuff that I want to go through. I don't have any clips for this stuff. But what I do have is a smorgasbord of information, and I also have a lot of attitude to back it up because there's a lot to be said about what we have, such as I told everybody to get off that Coke, and finally we got one less Coke in the pack. David Koch, formidable opponent, the infamous David Koch of the Koch brothers, has passed away at the age of 79. Was not a surprise, was not sudden. He had been battling illness. Pancreatic cancer, some type of cancer, right? So, yeah. And, times like this, when there's always a tendency for people to be, considering the fact that David Koch was a very polarizing person. That's what they call you when you're a complete asshole, right? When you're the type of person that makes other people really ticked off. People gotta either love you or hate you. When you're one of those type of people that people just go, I really hate that guy, or some people go, I love that guy. He's the best guy in the world. Well, that means you're totally polarizing. That means just something that you are doing that has a whole group of people wanting to come after you, and then another group of people that want to throw you on their shoulders, and buy you drinks. So I don't know what it is with that, but that's what he was and that's what he is. And in his death, there have been a lot of people saying a lot of crass things, a lot of horrible things. Some people have even formed parties. Some people have been dancing and I saw a man doing a moonwalk. I saw a squirrel doing a head spin. I saw a cat. I'm not playing. I saw a cat line dancing. Down. He was doing that line dance, that Lil Nas thing. He was so happy. I didn't see cat that happy. Down. And look, man, it's been a lot of crassness, man. A lot of people have been really, saying many horrible things about David Koch. And, I just want to go on the record and say that all of that displays the vitriol, the anger, the just totally harsh criticism in post-mortem, the man just died, the body's not even cold, and just this relentless onslaught of verbose disrespect. I just want to say, I respect the hell out of it. Yeah, keep it coming. Look, if you don't want people to talk badly about you at your death, maybe you shouldn't be such a jackass. I question if he cares. Man, like to those people who are soft and going, Tim, that's not right. What about you when you die? Well, I don't intend to try to ruin our elections or succeed in ruining our elections by funneling money to candidates to get them to do my bidding in order to prop up corporations. See, I don't plan to do that, so I don't expect people to form line dances in celebration to my demise. You get what you give. Stop being so soft. People die every day. Not every day does a man single-handedly, a billionaire, fund the destruction of our democracy almost totally on his own with the help of his other brother, his cyborg brother. So I'm not shedding no tears for no Koch brothers. I didn't kill him. He gone. Good. Now, if they say, Tim, well, why are you so pissed off, Tim? I get what you're saying, Tim. It makes sense. He's a horrible individual. You're not for the death penalty, but you're not against killers dying. No, I'm not. So why you feel that way? Well, this guy, this is someone who totally manipulated the whole idea of Citizens United. In fact, I believe without bastards like David and his brother, there would have been no Citizens United. They're part of the reason why they have pushed this country to the right almost unanimously by themselves, almost autonomously. Horrible policies that benefit corporations, not people. And we have people who are dumb enough to think it's cool, such as Ben Shapiro. And this is when you know somebody's brought off, guys. When you have somebody like Ben Shapiro, how old is this guy, like 30? And he's up here crying because the Koch brother died. Ooh, him and Steven Crowder. Don't tell me these guys don't get money from somebody on the right who's got deep pockets that wants them to spew this crap about this old guy who had all this money, who did whatever he wanted. And what he wanted to do was control our politics, to take my vote away, to take your vote away and give it to corporations because we too stupid to know what to do with our vote. They know better than we do. But see, the game that they play is they keep all the chips, and we have none of them. And we have Steven Crowder, and we got Ben Sep Zero, Shap Zero, and Stephen Bloater, or Bladder, or whatever his name is, or whoever he is. Hack, Shield. These guys up here actually crying because people are making fun or joking or whatever they're doing about the death of David Koch. And, yeah. And these are the same people that love to say that the Democrats are snowflakes and all this stuff. These guys really have no problem being snowflakes. Sounds like you're a little snowflakey about a guy you don't even know who was a horrible individual. You don't even like he's cool because he was a libertarian and his politics matches yours. I really don't think a billionaire ever cared about you or I. Which leads me to Sean Carter, Jay-Z. I don't know why. I really need to have a conversation with my black brothers and sisters who believe just because a billionaire is black that he's any less of an asshole than David Koch. We really need to get past this, man. We're going to really have to start looking at people at the fruits of their labor and look at what they're really about. Stop making excuses for people when they do the wrong thing. So anyway, the Koch brothers almost, they're the Tea Party. They're the architects of the Tea Party. Which means they were highly successful in altering politics. Highly successful. See, we can't have a Tea Party on the left, which is an insurgency of, at least it originated with grassroots and was brought out by the Koch brothers. They brought it out. But the DNC will never allow such to happen, where something could take hold at a grassroots level and move policy and have politicians bend into their whim. Whenever the DNC sees that happen, they shut it down quickly. They will burn their own. They will execute their own. They will destroy their own with any signs of, the people. How big was the crowd you had out there? That many, huh? Okay. I'll get with you soon. I got to make a phone call. I'll be right there. Yeah, we need to go ahead and plant that story, that smear story on him. Yeah, he had about 150 people out there. Doesn't sound like a lot of people, but it could grow. It could turn into 175 if we don't do something about it. Yeah, let's get that smear article. Call up the usual suspects: the New York Times and Politico and Daily Beast. Salon. Yeah, Salon. Dude, go with them. We've always got hitters on deck to write smear articles for us. Shut it down, like Chuck D would say. Oh, hey, yeah, I'm right there. I'm coming right there. Yeah. Now, to keep it 100, guys, David Koch has been sick for quite some time. He has stepped down from active participation in almost a year. So it's been run by his brother, the other jackass. So things are not going to change too much. They're going to continue. I keep hearing them talk about, this prison justice reform. The Koch brothers, they're the reason why we got the Cut 50 bill, the First Step Act. I support the First Step Act. But believe me, it was a first step. A very, very tiny step, almost like a consolation step. Like if you could take if the step was any shorter, it'd have been a step backwards type of step. It was a puny step. You know what a real criminal justice reform step forward looks like? The Bernie Sanders Life Safety Act, the one I spent over an hour and 20 minutes talking about, that YouTube says is user-friendly, demonetized it because, it's talking about, government policy. That's all. It's just government policy. But they won't share it, and they've limited its reach because it's not advertiser friendly is what they call it. Yeah, that one. The one, I spent a large amount of time. Yeah, it really pissed me off. But if you want to talk about fundamental, real criminal justice reform, don't talk to me about no damn Koch brothers inspired legislation. And once again, like I said, that was cool, good. Something got done, great. But let's not act like it's the end all to be all. It does not handle the wraparound institutional cleaning, the decimation of our criminal justice system, the actual breakdown of systemic racism, the actual the hindrances in the communities and the things in the young people's lives that really lead them down that path, and then also take care of them once they get out and how we can reacclimate them and make them better and new and get them reintroduced in society in a way that's fundamental so they can be fruitful and go out and not repeat any type of activity but put them back in that same situation, but so they can have productive lives and contribute to society as was intended. First Step Back doesn't do all that, but the Bernie Sanders bill does. So anyway, don't, go cry about Coke somewhere else. I don't do Coke. All right. And I told you about the DNC, and I told you how the Democratic Party has a way of destroying movements. That's their job. That's what they're good at. They love to destroy movements. They got this criteria to be in the Democratic debates. You have to have you have to be polling at a certain level in order to participate. So we all know that, right? They had these rules. Well, Tulsi Gabbard and her campaign are hitting back because they say that those rules are not being fairly applied. Case in point. She says, Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii says the Democratic National Committee said that their polling criteria for upcoming primary debates, they need to ensure transparency and fairness in selecting the qualifying surveys in order to attend those debates. They noted that Tulsi has exceeded the 2%. She has exceeded the 2% margin, which is necessary, which was required, in 26 polls. But for some strange reason, only 2 of those are on DNC's certified list. Yeah. Now, one of the ways you can stop someone from being in the race is to say, hey, you're doing a good job, but not on the scales of not where we're looking. But it's a poll. But we only use this poll over here. But you didn't look at me. Or why are my numbers there so low when they're high over here? Well, we don't know, but we're not going to use those polls because those polls are not the polls we want to use. We want to use different ones because in the different ones you're not doing so good. Oh, I mean, because we decided everything's fair and square, Mrs. Gabbard. There you go, being paranoid again. There you go with your conspiracy theories. Conspiratorial left, the fringe left, the nutty left, the dumb left. There you go again. You guys watch guys who say stuff like that about people who have who are more left leaning than they are. There are people here who watch the show right now who watch that shit and go, yeah, he's good. I'm like, really? I don't understand it. Anyway, the Gabbard campaign is calling on the DNC to hold true to their promise and make adjustments to the process to ensure that transparency and fairness. The campaign said in the Friday release that crucial decisions on debate qualifications that impact the right of American people to have the opportunity to participate fully in the democratic process should not be made in secret or by party bosses. When I say party bosses, you know I'm talking about Tom Perez. Oh, Tom Perez sounds like a cocaine addict. Hey, look, everybody, we're going to get out there. We're going to get the vote. Hey, we're going to get the powder. We're going to tap dance in the rain come down and the romance the stone like Sylvester Stallone. And we're going to play. And the powder. Are you feeling pumped up? I'm feeling pumped up for the backwards. Like, dude. You got any downers? We even start the program yet. He in the car, that's on the cab ride, the Uber over. Uber driver's like, excuse me, sir. Would you please, sir? I'm going to have to put you out my car. This is my personal automobile. You are spitting all over my back of my neck and all over my seats. This camera is running, sir. See, the DNC raised the threshold to qualify for the September and October debates, requiring candidates to poll above 2% in 4 DNC-approved polls and raise money from at least 130 unique donors. So Tulsi Gabbard, she did raise the money requirements. It's just and she's polling well enough. It's just not in the particular polls that the DNC is using. Now, I'm not saying that the DNC is cooking the books on those polls, but I'm saying it's possible the DNC is cooking the books on the polls. I would say it if I had evidence, but since I don't have evidence to say it, what I will say is that I don't doubt that they will cook the books on the polls to keep out who they don't want. That's what they would do. 10 candidates qualified so far: Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Mayor Pete, Kamala, Klobuchar, O'Rourke, Sanders, Warren, Castro, and Yang. Why do I keep hearing about this billionaire dude or whatever? How does a billionaire become a grassroots candidate? There's no grassroots in that. That's artificial turf. That's astroturf. Who are these people? How is this guy closer to qualifying than Tulsi Gabbard? I don't make any sense to me. All right, so we all know we support that. But you know what I don't support? I don't support people being so bitter. Like, she could still make the debates, dude. Stop throwing Bernie supporters under the bus because she's not making the debates right now. It's not our fault. We didn't rig the system. Bernie supporters have no power over the system. We are the outside, bro. So stop. Look, do me a favor, guys. Spread the word. There are certain Tulsi people who are very upset, and I understand you're upset. I'm upset too. But what I won't do is let my frustration cause me to go after my allies. Okay? Don't do it. Let's grow up. Let's put on our big boy, whatever you wear, or big girl, whatever you got on, whatever you wear down there. Some people go commando. I get that too. Maybe you do. I don't. Never have. Not my style. But you go ahead and do that. But do that, put on whatever you want to put on, but just put on the big people kind and just proceed to deal with this, and we fight the good fight. But what we do not need to do is keep sowing division, it's unnecessary. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard would appreciate it either, because she's a supporter of Bernie. She's not a hater. All right. So, Bernie Sanders introduced the most comprehensive criminal justice reform platform that I've seen anywhere. I painstakingly went over it. We enjoyed it here. It was fantastic. Only one imbecile say, you should have reduced that down to 15 minutes. You should kiss my white behind. That's what you should do, dumbass. Stop wanting things always to be easy. Challenge yourself to really know something, to be thorough sometime, to really get the nooks and the crannies and the details and to get down in there and G Willikers and golly G Willikers, to really get down in there and build a movement. Because you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that snickerdoodles and marshmallows are just the greatest little thing, and I've got a plan for that. We're going to take a stick and we're going to go out in the woods, and by golly, we're going to start ourselves a campfire. And we're going to roast those marshmallows. And we're going to pretend that those marshmallows are the American people fighting back against the greedy industries. And then we're going to taste them. We're going to have some milk and some cookies. And by golly, we're going to have ourselves a swell time. So anyway, Bernie Sanders' criminal justice reform package that Senator Elizabeth Warren tried to steal the thunder of. Some people say Tim Black, Senator Warren, she's only in this for one reason and one reason only, and that's to stop Bernie Sanders from getting the 50%. And I say, hey, I have no way of knowing that's true or not, but it does sound like something they do. Does sound like something they do. Gee Willikers, Tim Black. Fruit roll-ups and Fig Newton bars, Tim Black. Why do you think so lowly of me? Well, I've got a plan for that. I've been wondering all this time, what would make you think that I would do such a thing? So what, I didn't go to Standing Rock? So, gee Willikers, I was busy. I had to pull the weeds out of the garden. Those weeds, they stack up and they get really tall and they're really hard to get. You got to get in there. Got to get them early. You don't get them early, you won't be getting them. I didn't have time to go to Standing Rock. I really cared about the Native Americans, but I was talking to my mama, I was talking to my grandpa, I was talking to my cousin, I'm talking to my uncles. And I was just busy, Tim Black. You are black and scary, and I don't know why you pick on me. But I've got a plan for that. My criminal justice package will come get you. And stop talking about the fact I used to be a Republican. Oh, Tim Black, I've got a plan for you. Talking about when I was a Republican. So what, I was 50 before I realized that progressive was a good thing. Anybody can change. All right, so Bernie Sanders, he's introduced, he's got a climate plan. And just like his criminal justice plan is very aggressive. In fact, it's the most aggressive climate plan, bar none. If you had to design a program with the aim of offending the top brass of the world's most powerful corporations and the politicians whose careers they bankroll, must be an Intercept article when it starts off like that. Sounds like somebody who doesn't care about pissing off the establishment. This is not an article you would ever read at, say, like MSNBC or CNN or New York Times or something. Sounds a little confrontational. Bernie Sanders unveiled today in his $16.3 trillion Green New Deal platform. We need a president who has the courage, the vision, and the record to face down the greed of fossil fuel executives and billionaire class who stand in the way of climate action. The plan's opening salvo states, going on to echo a famous line from Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which is Cardi B's favorite president, by the way. We need a president who welcomes their hatred. Take that, take that, take that. Take that, take that, take that. You can hate me now. You can hate me now. That was Nas, man. Sanders outlines an expansive and expensive system, building on the resolution introduced by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Ed Markey in April that will generate publicly owned clean energy and 20 million new jobs. How are you going to pay for it? Well, I just said it's going to create 20 million new jobs. Yeah, it's going to create 20 million new jobs, so it's going to pay for itself, homeboy. Because if you got 20 million new jobs, you know how many new jobs? That's tax revenue right there. Plus, we put a little carbon tax on these busters that's polluting the country, polluting the world, crushing the environment. There's all these ways to mitigate costs. You know, sort of like, say, when you add to people's pockets, you increase the circulation of money within the country, which increases our GDP. You know, sort of like if you really cared about black people being on the bottom, owning less than 10% of white people's wealth. The average black family has 10% of the, for every dollar white people have, we have 10 cents. So if you really cared about fixing it, if you did fix that, that would greatly improve our economy because black people wouldn't be so poor and they would buy more stuff, which would help everybody. But see, you'd have to give a damn about that for that to happen. So anyway, come on, Johnson, let's keep it moving here. We're talking about climate. You're talking about black people. Don't do that. It's definitely the biggest and boldest plan and vision out there, Evan Weber, political director for the Sunrise Movement, told The Intercept. And did you not know that there is a presidential candidate who people are saying is very electable who does not support this, who does not support climate change, and doesn't even want us to hold a climate debate panel? Do you know that he has a surrogate as well, who has just a little bit more hair than me, but is a traitor? And some say was a mole for the DNC the whole time she was working for Bernie Sanders. Who do you think I'm talking about? Oh, I shudder to think. Go ahead, guess it. Go ahead and guess it. Put two and two together. I'm talking about Simone Sanders. I'm talking about Joe Biden. These are corporate sellouts. These are sellout toots. These are prostitute sellouts. These are corporate sellout toots. Yeah, they don't even want us to have a climate debate. She actually made an argument of why we shouldn't have climate debate. Well, let's talk about, everything else. If we don't talk about climate, people won't be here. Simone, you do realize if there's no climate, we don't address the climate situation, everybody can't come live at your mama house. And then your mama house going to be gone too. Like if we don't address this, there won't be an earth. Do you understand that kids going to have to wear masks to go to school? Do you get it? Are you getting this? Are they paying you enough money to kill all the babies? Just how much money is that? I'd like to know. What's your number for kill everybody? For you to just be like, fuck everybody. How much are they paying you to say that? To have that stance like, so what? Just babies. Tell me the number. I'd like to know for future reference. I got a feeling it's really not that much. Just so you could wear red bottoms. That's all. Just for you to wear red bottoms. Man, you could go get yourself a pair of shoes and pay less and paint them red and have your integrity, horse mouth. Why not do that? Why be a sellout all your life? People are afraid to call you what you are. You are a canker sore and a scumbag and a liar and a thief. You're a liar because you said you were progressive when you weren't. You never were. You just said shit on TV to be on TV. And you are a thief because you stole our trust. I don't know if you stole money. But you stole trust. And the scumbag part, well, that's obvious. You work for Joe Biden. Only a person who would work for Bernie then work for Joe Biden, the only way you can characterize that person appropriately would be to call him a scumbag. I mean, there's other words you could use, but this is a PG-13 show. So, back to this climate change. This legislation, this Green New Deal that Bernie Sanders is very aggressive. It doesn't mess around at the edges. Oh, we're just going to trim around the edges a little bit, just get the edges a little bit, make everybody happy. We don't want to fundamentally have to change nothing, really. We don't really want to have to ruffle feathers. We could just all just get along and just focus on the soul of America, the soul of America, the soul. We're on the fight for our very soul and lives. When I saw those kids out there in Charlottesville, it was really bothering me. And I said, I told Barack, I said, buddy Barack, we really got to do something about these kids. And he's a racist, and I've never seen it before where in all this time it's the soul of America, and we just have to really come together and hit the grips. And I'm sorry, I'm done. My time up. Yeah, Joe. Your time's up. It's up. So, yeah, guys, we're going to leave that there tonight. I'm going to go ahead and open phone lines, 319-527-6212. Just want you to know this show is funded by you. Nobody else will put up with me. I'm a loose cannon. You don't know where the cannon's going to go off. It could be a Nick cannon or, I don't know, just a crazy cannon. I can't think of any more cannons. But yeah. Folks, this is where we are. This is what we're dealing with. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. That wolf behind me, it's here for a reason. It's here to scare up some troops. We need to build a momentum. We need to get the momentum going. That's what we need to do. And we got a Facebook group that we're growing, and the Wolfpack members that are joining for just $5 a month. And we're going to be a force to be reckoned with as we get closer and closer into 2020. We're gonna be making some noise. So I hope that you become a member, realize that this is something different that we're doing, and be a part of it, because nothing big is done alone. And it's no matter how loud my mouth gets and me calling out this stuff, I need your help, because I'm just one guy, That's it. Without you, just a guy yelling on the internet being loud. I need your support. So do that, guys. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack right here, wherever you're watching. I'm sure you can do it, but you can go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, and do it. And if you do that, and you're at least $5 a month, because it's up to you how much you could do $5, or you could do $500 a month. I mean, whatever, Go ahead and make my day. But if you do at least $5 a month, email me at clientcare@timblacktv.com. That's clientcare@timblacktv.com. I want to send you a gift for joining us, okay? And it's going to be a swag bag, a Tim Black gear stuff, bunch of stuff I'm going to send you, because I want to get back to you. I want you to know I appreciate you, okay? Thank you. All right, let's go to those phone calls, man. I know I got some people over here who got something to say. I'm not the only one who got something to say. All right. Let's see what we got. We got a 678 number in the house. 678. You are live, 678. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim Black, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, Dave? How you feeling, man?
Pretty good, man. I missed you last Friday, and I missed your Epstein video, but I wanted to give you a call tonight. First, let me tell you, happy belated.
Oh, thanks, brother.
And I wanted to compliment you on the Spike Lee video and the criminal justice bill that Bernie did, the video you did on that.
Thanks, brother.
They were really, that Spike Lee video was really good, man, and both of those videos were really good. I thought it was some of your best work. So thank you for that. And I guess Spike Lee, I don't know what's going on there. That's very disappointing. I don't understand how. Maybe he felt sorry for her or something. But I just don't get it. And that's why I called, was Kamala Harris. I've never seen anybody lose 12 points in the poll in a month. I mean, that's just epic what Tulsi Gabbard did. And of course, that's the reason. Directly after that debate, she's lost 60 or 70% of her support. Wasn't she like at 15 points or something?
17.
So she's lost at least. Yeah, she's lost like 70% of her support. And like, I'm not celebrating her demise, even though I'm kind of celebrating her demise. But the reason I called to talk about that tonight is because her supporters walked out on Bernie today as he was talking at that DNC meeting. And I don't know why they're mad at him. I mean, they started chanting that she's smart, she's strong, and she is. She's just a terrible person with a crappy-ass record that caught up with her finally. And, I mean, it's amazing how they're not mad at Kamala Harris, because that's whose fault it is. It kind of reminds me of 2016. I mean, it seems like maybe they're ex-Hillary staffers that work for Kamala, who want to blame everybody but Kamala Harris, because Kamala was doing great, remember? I mean, she was doing better than I thought she was going to do, Tim. Mm-hmm. She was at about 17%. And then, like she's done her whole career, she tried some cheap-ass move to launch herself by attacking Biden when clearly everybody had kind of agreed not to attack each other because they want to beat Trump, which I don't agree with. I think they should call out each other's records so we get the best candidate. But she wanted to take advantage of Joe Biden and attack him, to ambush him. And I don't like Joe Biden, but it was clear that she was just trying some dirty trick to gain support, and it backfired on her. That's whose fault this is, Kamala Harris. Because once she did, it pissed off Tulsi Gabbard, who called her out the next debate and called her record out to everybody. And a lot of people didn't like the way she attacked Biden, and then they really didn't like hearing about how she laughed about putting people in jail. So I don't get why her staffers are mad at Bernie Sanders. The person they need to walk out on is Kamala Harris, because she's terrible. She's not a good human being. So that's it, Tim. I mean, this is all her fault. I mean, I don't understand why they're mad at him. All Kamala Harris has done is be hungry for power. Here, just this one example, and I'll get out of here, Tim. California is the most progressive liberal state in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And I think she broke records for locking people up, Tim.
Yep.
And as a prosecutor, it makes you look good when you lock people up. They think, look at you like you're doing your job, So instead of being a decent human being and using her power for good, you have to go out of your way to break a record locking people up in the state of California. So she's just not a good candidate. She's a bad person. And these people are so geared about backing a female to become president, Tim. They keep backing the wrong female. So I'm out. That's it, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, Dave. You're spot on, though, man. It's good to hear from you, and thank you for acknowledging those two videos, the Spike Lee, that video and the Criminal Justice Reform Bill for Bernie Sanders. His plan is amazing. Thank you, brother. I put a lot into both those videos, by the way. Also put a lot in the recently done video for Tulsi Gabbard, because we had to go back and take the music out and find a C-SPAN clip and sync it up and do a whole bunch of stuff to get a version that didn't have that, just for YouTube to be like, oh, well, we don't want to, you can't monetize that one either because we just don't like Tulsi Gabbard. That's all. So, I know there's no cursing or anything, and it's just we don't. But, you know, man, I'll tell you, Dave, most people see through Kamala Harris, but every once in a while. And look, I don't even know if these people are real. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know if these people are. I don't think they're very political. I think they're just people who just want a black person to be, a black woman to be president. All they see is that she's a black woman. They don't even look at the fact that she was an attorney general. They don't even look at the fact she was a prosecutor. They don't look at any of that. They don't look at what like they would say, yeah, our criminal justice system is racist. They'll say that because these are typically black people. They're pissed off at our system and say that our system is racist, and it disproportionately locks up black people, particularly, you know, black people, poor people, black people predominantly. And you would think that would be a big deal to them, but since it's a black woman, they're mad at me and they say I'm trolling her. I'm too hard on her. And they think I'm being hard on her because she's a black woman. First of all, it's debatable. We can have that conversation at some other point, I guess, maybe, about her blackness. Fine, cool. But you totally leave out the fact what she does for her occupation. And her occupation was being on the side of law enforcement that locks people up. You know, there are all types of people that are involved in our criminal justice system that do nothing, that had nothing to do with jailing people. I mean, there are people who are public defenders. There are people who counsel. There are people who do parole officers that help people. Like, there's all types of people that work with juveniles. There's all types of people in all types of positions that you could work for if you are a person with a jurisprudence degree or some type of legal acumen, or you're going in that direction. You don't have to become a prosecutor and then an attorney general when that focus is going to be incarceration. But those people can't see that she's that first. No one chooses their color or their sex, but you choose your job, yo. You choose your job. So to that it's a very small amount of people, man. It's a very small amount of people who that's all they see. They go kill. You know, a black person could just go out in the street, just shoot black people, just shoot them willy-nilly. And they would defend them somehow because they black. No, see, I don't do that. I call out black people, I call out white people, I call out Asian people, I call out Native American people, I call out gay people, I call out straight people, I call out Jewish people, I call out all people. Okay? One of the reasons why Kamala Harris is called out so much because she's so horrible. Now, Amy Klobuchar was also a prosecutor, but Amy Klobuchar is not in the news hardly at all. But if she was in the news more, I would be going after Amy Klobuchar. She never talks about her background as a prosecutor. She don't brag about it. A lot of people watch it don't even know that she had a career in that. Because she keeps it quiet. Because it's a negative in the Democratic Party. It's a negative to be pro. It used to be negative before the Clintons came up. It used to be negative for the left to lock people up. To be pro law enforcement, lock people up, throw away the key, lock up as many people as you can in these private prisons. They used to not be a left thing. It is a left thing. If you are looking at Kamala Harris as anything other than a cop, an attorney general who with a horrible record that you could go look up, you could Google it at any time and be like, okay, well, that's a good reason for them to be that way. I do not agree with it, but it's not just because she's a woman and it's not just because she's black. You could see that if you would just look it up. And if she was a white guy who did that, you would have no problems with me calling him out. You would be, I love that boy. I love Tim Black, man. He be going after that Jeff Sessions, man. Look at him go. I love that. But since this is Kamala Harris, you're like, oh, why you have to do her like that, man? Man, this is wrong. I'm not going to stop watching them. I'm just going to say annoying shit in the comment section. Yo, because I want to keep my eye on him, you know? I mean, you know, I like when he calls out, you know, Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete, when he calls out, you know, everybody else, but only when he calls out Kamala, I hate it, man. I hate it because she a sister, man. She a sister. Just keep calling out the white folks. Don't call out, well, if I call out Cory Booker, yeah, you can call him out. I don't care about him. He's bald-headed. I don't like, somebody's eyes, funny eyes. Somebody's eyes, I don't trust him. All right, I'm going to go to the next call. 863. I'm crazy. Sorry, y'all. 863. You're live Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, man. My name's Peter, calling you from Florida.
What's up, man?
And, hey, I love your show. You're a dangerous man for telling the truth. Hey, I like to just share 3 observations. And usually when I call in on C-SPAN, I only get one out. But 2016 looks like the DNC is going to go after Tulsi, then they'll go after Bernie. But the reason why they want to go after Tulsi is because she threatens the war machine. And CNN and MSNBC love the war machine. Hell, if they were around in 1972, my friend, we'd still be fighting Vietnam today. And if you look at the military budget, right before they went on recess, they spent $730 billion again on war. And nobody talked about the deficit. Nobody talked about how we're going to spend this $1 trillion, how we're going to get it. They all signed off for it. A week later, all we hear about is the deficit now. That was bipartisan Democrats pushing the war machine because they're financed by the war machine. And that's why Tulsi's such a threat. $730 billion, Tim. That's a lot of jack to get spread around, whether it's by Google or Amazon. They know that. But now getting back to this damn economy, when you got over half of Americans in the last 12 years don't have $600 for an emergency, that's when they're telling us times were great. Best economy ever. And half of Americans don't have $600. What are you going to do on that debate? When are you going to start looking out for those people? And like with Joe Biden, and I know you can find the YouTube YouTube clip to play, and it's the one where Joe Biden is lecturing people on the House floor and the Senate floor that we got to cut entitlements. Paul Ryan was right. We got to cut these entitlements. Because now that the economy's turning, nobody in these debate moderators will ask about this. But, Joe, how do you feel about Social Security? They're not going to ask about it until it's just him and Trump, and then he'll come out and he'll say, I think we need to cut them. We got $1 trillion deficits. But nobody will touch the war budget. Wow. Yeah, understand where my logic's coming from?
I hear you, man. I appreciate the comment. It's pretty sad, but it's dead spot on. And, yeah, you're right. You're definitely right about Tulsi Gabbard and the war machine and how both sides vote for these bills. It's enormous. I mean, they gave Trump more money than he even asked for. That's how much they love war, my brother. So there is no peace movement in this country. Everything is pro-war. And that's the reason why everything that Tulsi goes on, they smear. Exact reason. It is interesting to say they're going to go after Tulsi, then they're going to go after Bernie. But you're probably right as far as the war money comes first. And then when people say, well, Tim, Bernie he's not as tough on the war machine as he needs to be, I've always thought there was a reason. I've always thought there was a reason why certain things you have to be a little careful in how you word it, how you ride for it. I'm hoping that once in power, what you do is different than, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that you're an insurgent. You're trying to fight the machine. And if you give them every reason in the world to shut you down, they will. That's just what I believe, man. I thank you for the phone call, man. I really appreciate it. And 909. 909, you're live. Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim, how you doing, man? Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
And what I want to do at this time is solidify the fact that me representing a young demographic in California of, men averaging from age 20 to 30, 35, especially being from California, I want to solidify the fact that California stands well and firmly against Kamala Harris, and her policies, her crooked agendas to where we're aware of her ulterior motives and her stances on these things because she presided over this madness, And me personally, I want to advocate and stand for the fact and say that I feel like Ocasio-Cortez is a breath of fresh air for the community. I feel like we need to get this new wave of, politicians and up-and-comers that stand for something that's new and something that's fresh rather than reverting back to the ways of old. And especially in a big state like that, I feel like even though, we're short for nominees, we're short for candidates this time, there's another bad run this year. I feel like Tulsi is so qualified, more qualified than people are letting on, because look at her service. Look at her, extensive philanthropic background and how well versed she is, to where I feel like I heard somebody make a joke about, how could a medic be this qualified or more qualified than, a sitting president? When I look at and analyze that comment, it sounds actually very flawed, because it would be, in fact, that she would be more qualified and have more heart in her chest than pretty much anybody else that's running. So I support and appreciate platforms like this that promote the truth and they promote the real agendas of the people. I believe a previous caller spoke to the fact that most Americans have less than $600 in a bank account, which is very true. And I feel like that particular demographic of people is not well represented throughout our judicial system, throughout our legal system, all the way up to the bureaucratic level. Clearly, we see cases of this in, the legislation that they pass in the everyday fashion. So the only way to change this process is an organic change from the bottom up, from the ground up. And that's what I want people to reach out and become more educated on. Because personally, I feel like when you're a sitting prosecutor, you're a sitting attorney general, and over 1,000 prisoners were freed on your watch, that shows that they were freed because you were inept and you were unable to follow a certain standard that us, the people, elected you to uphold. And I feel like that's the core of the problem, is that it's not necessarily that these people aren't being vetted. They're being vetted by people to further those people's interests and agendas. And that's where we get caught up in not being represented. So I'm very thankful for these outlets that let people get out and branch out and speak out, because I feel like it feels like, sadly, Tulsi is the last lifeline that we have, representing people who are not disingenuous in their efforts to have their voices heard. So I feel like we need calm, passionate leaders, not over-exuberant political misfits like Trump. I feel like the backbone of this country is the people that right now they ain't got two sticks to rub together or a pot to you-know-what in. So I feel like we didn't have to go through this with Obama. I'm not saying that everything was perfect. I'm not saying that, it was a model time for progress. Obviously, we've been in a drought, been in an ongoing repression for God knows almost 30, 40 years and back. So I feel like the only way to claw our way back is to find a way to inject our needs and our concerns into this blocked off political sector. So I want to thank you, Tim, and your efforts to do that every day on a daily basis.
That's right.
I feel like, especially with this new wave of legislation and policy, I feel like Medi-Cal and people who are less fortunate, their co-pays are being overlooked. It's harder for senior citizens to be able to afford the cost of co-pay, their medication. And I have relatives that worked in the mental health system for over 25 to 30 years, people that have retired from Patton State Hospital who, like me, dedicated their lives and well-being to helping people who are less fortunate and helping people who suffer from these systems that are perpetuated by these cycles of injustice. And I feel like it's important that we shed a light on these things. So I want to say thank you, Tim, and your show is another breath of fresh air. I feel like we need to promote and educate this next future wave of Ocasio-Cortezes and people that can be soldiers for minorities, and soldiers not just for that group and that demographic, but soldiers for Americans who are standing up to have their voices heard as well.
Hey, well, I want to thank you for the phone call, my friend, is representing for California, man. The young people in California that aren't Kamala Harris supporters and see through who she is. And it's good to remind people that everybody doesn't back her. In fact, I'll tell you this, man. Whenever I look at my demographics to determine who's my most supportive group of people, where they are logistically located across the country and the world, actually, California is always at the top of the list as far as who's actually tuning into my show. So a big shout out. And also, when I've been saying sending out these 10 Black Wolfpack gift packs to members and seeing addresses. And I tell you that California has a lot of progressive people. So I know they cannot be diehard Kamala Harris supporters if they're watching this show, because this show takes her to task, along with the other candidates who are neoliberals who mean us no good and are in support of corporations over the people. So thank you for that comment, brother. I really appreciate it. And you keep me going. You keep me inspired, man, dropping that type of knowledge, man. Let's keep it moving. He did make one comment I wanted to highlight. He said that, that Trump, that Trump is, basically Trump is horrible, and Obama wasn't good, but he wasn't as bad. And I tell you, man, they were both killing us. Trump is killing us. And Trump's killing our EPA. He's gutted the EPA. He's gutted regulations. They keep us safe. They keep us alive. He's gutted safety net programs that help people make it day to day. Totally just took a knife to it and ran through it. But the difference between Trump and Obama is Obama was like a silent killer. They say heart disease is a silent killer. You might not even know you have it, and he just died one day. That's Obama. It was silent. You would be happy and just going about life and just partying. You know what I mean? And just doing whatever you're doing, eating pizza and fried chicken and, drinking beers and chilling out or whatever you do, right? Going to a fish fry and just fall out. No one would know. Like, oh, man, he was just here and he was gone. Well, that was Obama. Well, Trump is more like gangrene. He's like, what is that on your arm, brother? What the hell is that? Man, you need to get to the doctor. That's you're going to die. You're going to die. you need to get that, cut your arm off. And that's what Susan Sarandon meant when she said that, and for some reason these sellout corporate bastards act like they don't understand it, right? I mean, if I can get it, I know they can get it. Susan Sarandon was saying that, you're going to see that gangrene. You're not going to be able to explain that away. You're not going to be able to ignore it. That's where the revolution part comes in. Because if you can look down and see that your arm is falling off and it's blood dripping off of it and flesh is hanging off of it, flapping in the wind, well, you're going to have to do something about that because people see it. Everybody see it. You can't ignore it. That's Trump. But whether it is going to be gangrene or the flapping of the skin, a flesh-eating disease, or it's diabetes, we still are dying. And that's the difference. So, yeah. So anyway, I thank you again for the phone call. 512. You live, 512. What's your name and what's your comment?
Hello, is this me?
That's you, my friend.
Oh, hi, my name is David, and I'm from Texas, and I'm calling to comment about a recent article I read on Forbes. I'm not sure if you saw it, Tim. And also, I want to say I'm a big fan of your show. Great content as always.
Thank you.
But I wanted to say, so I was reading this article on Forbes about dozens of top CEOs that signed a statement or something saying that they're going to be doing better, that they're going to be helping. It had like three main mission statements, but I just wanted to comment on that. I was like, so wait a minute. Like one of the mission statements said that they're going to treat for example, like Amazon and J.P. Morgan, a variety of CEOs said that they're going to treat their communities better, where they're going to invest in the community, that they're going to give. The other statement said they're going to give their employees fair wages, they're going to deal ethically with suppliers and with customers. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. All of these statements are great and they sound great, but you had to sign a statement to say you're going to do this. What kind of country do we live in where we have to say? So it's like, okay, so the statement says they're going to pay their employees fair wages. So does that mean that you're not paying them fair wages right now? That's what it means, right, Tim? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I was just reading. I was like, it's, and that's why I'm a fan of. I'm supporting Bernie Sanders and other progressives because they're out there, fighting for the workers, for the employees, and it's just like, I don't know that. that article was, and I forgot exactly what the article's called, but yeah, it's just like, is that what it's coming down to? That now we have to, what seems is common sense, it has to actually be written down, and you know, CEOs have to sign them. Like, really, it's just, honestly, I think it's more that the reason why this made news now is because of the movement, of the positive energy that a lot of Americans are now, or I mean, the grassroots movement that a lot of Americans are doing, and now the rich or the upper class is like, we have to do something to address the income inequality, the many problems that this country faces. So it's just, you know, it's, I don't know. That's just what I wanted to comment.
Well, I hear you, man. Thank you for the phone call. And you know what? I did see that article, my friend. I'm glad you brought that back to my attention. I did see it in passing. I was scrolling or something. And you're right. You know, first thing I thought when I saw it was somebody's trying to do a little PR control. Like, there's a reason for it. Is this, you know, why are they doing this? Why are you, I mean, we're good billionaires. Like I saw, like somebody said that Jay-Z was the woke billionaire class. Look, dude, I've played Monopoly. How many people play Monopoly? When you play Monopoly, your job is to do what? Clear everybody off the board, right? You're not a philanthropist if you play Monopoly right. Right? Come on, man. You're not like, all right, like, so you want them to land on Boardwalk with a hotel on that mofo. That's your whole purpose. They want us to believe, they're trying to trick us into believing that when they put Boardwalk, a hotel on Boardwalk, and they're sitting there, oh, please let them on the 12. Please let them land on it. That they're going to mean, well, how much money you got? Well, you owe me $15,000. How much you got? 10? Oh, I feel really bad that I got to take all your money in. Just give me all your houses too, and turn over those properties and just give them to me. I feel really bad about this. I really wish I didn't have to do it because I'm such a philanthropist. I'm so woke. I'm putting you on the street. Like, it's really bad. We got to, oh, you quit the game? Oh, God, I hate to see you go. Hate to see you go. We gotta. Hate to see you have to quit. Hold on. I'm still counting. Still counting money. Yep. It's not gonna be the same without you playing anymore in the game. Come on, man. And there are people buying it. It's just so many of these jackasses watch so many movies. They watch what was the movie that it started. What was that movie Woody Harrelson was in when he sold his wife to the rich guy to sleep with her for like $1 million or something? That's when it started. They made that seem like, well, he's just a good rich guy, you know, who just wants to buy your wife for the evening. What's wrong with that? You know, and they made Woody, the dummy, be like the bad guy, and the rich guy was the good guy. You know, well, I want to show her a new life, and, you know, I want to, you know, take a real debonair when I'm, you know, treating this woman like a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? Deducing her down, you know. But that's when it started. Like, at least for me, that was my earliest memory of like this shift in brain, like where the rich guy is seen as the good guy, you know, because before then, all I remember was like trading places when I was a kid, and the rich guys were like, you know, they messed this guy's whole life up over $1 bet. You guys remember that? A $1 bet, they like took this guy's life and was like, let's make something out of it, Johnson. You know, well, let's do this with it. Ooh, let's do this to his life. And at the end of it was $1. And I never forgot that. I was like, wow, rich people they're devious. They just they got money. They just don't have rules. They just, and then I saw that movie where the guy buys the wife, Demi Moore, buys this guy's wife, and no one hated the guy. It's like, he's rich. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to buy women, man. He's supposed to ruin marriages, man. It's not really his fault. It's the guy's fault for letting the woman, for doing it. It's not the society that makes us want the money. It's not The fact that you so poor that you need money and you all, like a guy that's struggling business he couldn't. Anyway, I'm going to go on the next call. Anyway, brother, the problem is we just need to start eating right and exercising and, taking care of our cats and dogs and stuff and just respecting the earth more. And then all the rich people just treat us nice because then they don't really want to rule over us. They respect us. Right? All right, 917. 917, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, yo, Tim. It's your boy Sam in New York City. What's up?
What's up, son? How you doing, man?
Good. I tried to call you last week before my shift started at midnight, but unfortunately it just started, so I had to hang up while I was waiting. So I missed you last week, but good to be on with you, man. Good to be on.
All right, brother.
No, man, I'll keep it quick because I know you got I'm sure you got a whole list of callers. Just wanted to say, man, can any of us be surprised at what the DNC is doing? I mean, let's not forget, Tulsi was the one when we were all saying, like, things are looking fishy back in 2016. It looks like the DNC might be playing a hand, but you're a conspiracy theory. Well, Tulsi Gabbard was, I think she was like, what was she, vice president or vice chairman, something like that at the DNC, and she stepped down. And when asked why, she's like, because it's obvious they're rigging against Bernie. She fell right on that sword, and the DNC was pissed from the get. So they keep an eye on her running this year. And what did she do to piss them off even more? Oh, she knocked down Kamala Harris. I mean, she didn't knock her down. She, took her to the top of the Empire State Building and then just said, all right, enjoy the fall. Kick, and watched her fall. And we all enjoyed that fall. That was just glorious to watch. Because the media was, oh, Kamala's this, Kamala's that. So I was like, all right, well, let me read you her record. So I'm guessing people started doing research like, damn, she sucks as a person. So, when the next pollings come out, of course she's not going to be talking about like, oh, well, these polls don't count. I mean, those polls do, but these don't. And it's like, well, then it's so arbitrary. Mm-hmm. I was watching the show, what's it called? The Rising or something produced by The Hill. And they bring on this, DNC guy, an insider. And they're pointing out, look, Tulsi has those polls. Why is the DNC excluding those polls? And, and they say, oh, but it's arbitrary. We just can't have 10 people on the stage again. And the guys are pitching the notion of, we have to get that candidate who's down the middle. And every time somebody says that to me, I just go, well, if that's true, why don't we have a President Hillary Clinton? Mm. Right? We've tried that. It failed. We need somebody who actually is going to be progressive on a lot of things, but also people forget when it comes to war across the board, Americans are just tired of war. We're in 7 different conflicts right now. You think anybody wakes up and is like, boy, I'm happy we're in Iraq, Syria, Libya. Yeah, things are just going great. Nobody wants that because nobody wants to have their tax dollars go to that, and they can't afford a health care bill or their children's public schools are going on. I mean, these are things that are just common to everybody. So, I mean, no one should be surprised after Tulsi calls out the DNC for rigging it and then kicks their favorite candidate down. They're going to go, oh, yeah, that poll doesn't count. I don't know. In my opinion, man, this could help her in a way because now she gets to point to the rigging, and it's just going to piss a lot more people off who are going to start paying attention. It's like, yeah, maybe the DNC is being rigged. Maybe we got to do something about it. But anyway, man, I don't know. That's just my input. Tim, I'll see you next week, man.
All right, man. Thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, she was the DNC vice chair when she stepped down in 2016, and she pointed out, the issues that she saw within the DNC that were against, stacked against Bernie Sanders, and she made it clear who she supported and what her support was about and why she did it. And it wasn't vacuous. It wasn't like, I don't know, what's her name? Sheila Jackson? When she endorsed Kamala Harris, who couldn't tell me not even one scintilla of a policy reason why she was endorsing Kamala Harris. Was it Marsha Fudge? I think it was Marsha Fudge, right? My bad. Marsha Fudge endorsed Kamala Harris recently. I covered it. And she had no policy reason for it at all. It was just, she black woman, and she can prosecute 45. What's that mean? They even brag about her prosecutorial chops. Yeah, you know what those chops were used on, though, right? They weren't used on rich, powerful people like Steve Mnuchin. They were used on poor people. That's my problem. I'm consistent. You are not. All right, we're going to keep it going, man. 470. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Miss Phillip, appreciate your show, man. Just wanted to say that the reason why I'm calling is because I want to just state that I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, and I feel like if the DNC screw him over, I don't know if I can vote for either Joe Biden, because that's who it seems like they pushing for. And to be honest, I just feel like maybe if that happens, if we have to decide to choose between Donald Trump or Joe Biden, I'll go with another 4 years of Donald Trump. I have to see or wake up to really realize, like, you have to make a difference. Is one thing Bernie Sanders has been talking about, regardless of you black, white, Asian, is like we all have to stand together. And he's the only one that I see that is truly pushing that. I don't see no color or anything. And it's just like, hey, let's all stand together. We'll get done wrong. Let's fight. And to sit here and try to go with Joe Biden, man, it's just like, look at the record. Everybody, I just want everybody to understand you have to look at a record, have to see what they voted for. I mean, it's plenty of videos out there. There's plenty of they voting records out there where you can see, but people got to wake up. And if we have to do another 4 years, that's just how I feel. I'm either Bernie or bust, basically. I like Tulsi, I really do. I'm okay with Elizabeth Warren, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a full support for Bernie, man. I guess I'm one of those Bernie bros. I guess I don't even want to say that, but his whole policy and what he believes in is something real and something true, and I think it'll help the majority of everybody in. And to be honest with you, I think his platform will help everybody in the world. That's just how I see it. Maybe I'm just too hyped about him, but I mean, to me personally, he speaks the truth. And that's it, man. I appreciate you taking my phone call. Appreciate your platform. I will be donating and joining to be a member. But keep doing what you're doing, man. Thanks.
You got it, Philip. Thank you for the phone call, young man. I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, one of the things about it, and I know you hear this a lot too, Philip, man, is that there are a lot of people who take shots at Bernie Sanders. But you know, one of the things about the shots that they take against Bernie, it's never really about policy. Nope. It's never like, because his policies are really, very popular. I see people, well, he didn't support Hillary. He campaigned harder than Hillary did for Hillary. He went on the campaign trail for Hillary in many states. What was he supposed to do for her? Win it for her? What was he supposed to do? Put on a wig and start giving her speeches too? What's he going to do? Sleep with Bill for you? What could he have done? Oh, you think that Trump wouldn't have beat Hillary if Bernie hadn't lost to Hillary? I'm trying to understand. I never understand what they're trying. What's your point? Bernie endorsed Hillary. More Bernie supporters voted for Hillary than Hillary supporters voted for Barack just 8 years earlier. Remember when Hillary ran against Obama? Well, a lot of Hillary supporters were just as pissed off as anyone else, who loses, right? They were pissed off. A lot of them went and voted for McCain. More Hillary supporters voted for McCain than Bernie supporters voted for Trump. But no one talks about it. Now, why do you think all of a sudden people don't remember that when Hillary ran, her supporters voted for McCain or stayed home more often than Bernie supporters did? Because they want to blame someone. This is all factual. You can look it all up. I'm not making up any of this. I've just been doing this for a number of years now. So go look it up. But when you listen to the Deborah Messings and the Neera Tandons, these people are horrible people. These are bad actors. These are despicable people who mean you no good, who speak no truth at all. And then the sycophants like Soledad O'Brien. I see you, Soledad. I see you going for Nina. Neera, I saw you. Again, you got bodied. We're going to start bodying you guys on Twitter more often. You need to learn. I am not your puppy dog. I am not your lackey. You are not important to us. You are only important because you get propped up by corporate media. To the us, it's just a new age. You have no bona fides here. You have no gravitas here. You have no, all you are is hubris and platitudes and status with rich people. That does not get it done on the internet where the real people are. Your world is shrinking. It's shrinking. Our world is growing exponentially. The power is not in your hands anymore. So just to close this out, Philip is right. He's right. Bernie is the best candidate. The reason why you know it is because when they discredit Bernie, they don't talk about his policies. That's because everybody debates his policies and they adopt his policies in different forms. We got the entire Democratic field adopting different flavors, trying to manipulate Bernie's policies to try to mimic Bernie. Next call. 907. 907, what's your name and what's your comment?
We all know who this is. Hi, honey.
Hey, how you doing, Laura?
Oh, I'm all right. Listen, I'm going to try and be real quick. I know I say that. Anyway, as far as the Koch guy dying, his father made his money. Their father made his money by stealing money from us indigenous people, like Alaskans and Oklahomans, etc. Went in. This is in the 1910, 1915s. And he said, hey, I'll buy your oil. Fair price for fair game. Well, what he did was he actually screwed with how much was coming out. So he was actually paying them really little for a whole lot. He made billions of dollars even way back then. He took that money and he literally went to Stalin and put 15 oil companies under Stalin. Stalin kicked his ass. So the Third Reich, under the approval of, under the approval of Hitler, he built the third largest oil business in Germany for the Third Reich to supply their planes and stuff for the World War. When he died, he gave his boys that money. Now, these boys are dying in their 80s, okay? This is how long this shit's been going on. Now, the apples didn't fall far from the tree. They got their money and they put it into this country. Did you know the one who died actually went and ran for president against Reagan and lost? And when he lost, he decided, well, hell, if I'm going to lose to him, I'm going to buy him. And he bought him. And that's when we started getting Buck v. Vallejo, which started years before, which meant that companies are people and money was speech. And then it got the sealed deal as Citizens United. These guys have been at it since they were at their daddy's knee on how to take over this country from the people their daddy learned from, Stalin and Hitler. Go back to Trump's history. His mom is from Germany. His daddy was a white supremacist Ku Klux Klan man who literally was one of 1,000 men who were wearing their white sheets in New York beating down the Irish police because the Irish were considered the blacks of the North. He was arrested. Fred was Koch's parents, and Frank was Trump's daddy. And now we're wondering why. We got this man sitting there saying there's good people on both sides. We're wondering why we got Koch brothers with together $190 billion now that are just decided this year they're going to back both sides of the parties, Republican and Democrats. So every time these new young people come up like AOC and stuff, the money's now coming from the Kochs to run along with the DNC they're actually running people to primary the people who are primarying people like Steve King, the most racist son of a bitch on the planet, who got stripped of all of his duties but still gets paid. All right, there's your history on that son of a bitch. Goodbye, fuck off. I don't know what his will looks like. His brother will follow, but they've got kids, and that's what our kids have got to look at. I want to tell everybody who's poor, like me right now, see, I worked all my life. And I wasn't poor. I never owned a credit card in my life. I built my own home. And I learned to live off the land in Alaska. That's all I knew. But in the 40s and the 50s, and after the war, we had what were called victory gardens. I don't know how many listeners will know this who may be receiving food stamps, but you can buy seeds, vegetable seeds and fruit seeds with food stamps. They're 25 cents, sometimes 10 cents. Buy a bag of soil, cut the top off of it, poke your finger in there, and you start growing your own fruits and vegetables. We have a community garden here, 2 of them. In my little tiny town, 25,000 people on our island. We're coming up to a real bad recession. We watched the crash today, 700 points. They've bought the stock buybacks, all of this. We're going to hit it hard. Now, I come from people who survived this. I want you people who have food stamps to start buying seeds right now. And I want you to get together with your neighbors. And I need you to get to your community centers. Like Detroit is hollowed out now. Start putting up, we did it on an abandoned, burned down building here. We put up old chain link fencing and we grew ivy so they would help clean the air. If every community started getting together of poor people and started going, hey, wait a minute, we can grow our own vegetables in these food deserts. We don't have to be beholden with this little bit of food stamps that they now keep cutting, and the food's going up. We can buy seeds, and we don't have to buy, and we can have fresh tomatoes, bell peppers, onions. Go on the internet, and it shows you how you can, when you cut an onion down, and it's still got its roots, at the end, put that in a little bit of water till the roots grow a little bit more, stick in the seed in the soil, and it grows you another onion. Potatoes start sprouting those little eyes, don't throw them away. Put them in the soil. You will get almost 5 to 10 pounds of potatoes. We need to get together as communities. Fuck these big guys because we can't beat them that way. And the sword fighting that's going to go on politically, we can't control. But what we can control is being communities again. Know your neighbors. Get together with your neighbors. Get together with community centers. Find out what you can do to help your community rise above instead of be crushed. Everyone was born with a talent. Everyone has the ability to learn something new. The internet is a free encyclopedia. If you want to feed your families, don't throw away scraps you can grow. Just buy a bag of regular soil. Cut the top off of it. You don't even. That's its own canister. You can put it on. If you're in the city, you can put it on your windowsill or out on your balcony thingy. You know. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast because I know you guys got me on 3 minutes. But we're heading into a horrible crash. Okay, I was supposed to get food stamps. I got $9 for a month. I've never received food stamps in my life. When I got into the car accident from the drunk driver, I lost everything. I live in a place now where my rent's going up through head, and Social Security is going down at the bottom. I'm not afraid because I remember, and my body don't work, but I got young people who love me in a community that I've served for a long time. You all got to build community. You got to love one another, accept one another. Fuck the politics. Gather together. Like that young man said about Bernie not seeing color, be like Bernie. Bernie said we need a revolution. The revolution is us. We need to be that revolution. And if that means at some point we bring pitchforks, fine, we bring pitchforks. But until then, in your major cities, start figuring out ways with your community centers, your governors, your anybody who will listen to you. Your community activists. If you got boarded up buildings, say, hey, listen, there's 10 of us families. We'd like to, I know you're going to bowl down that building, but we'd like to buy the property and put up a community garden, etc. Come on, guys. We can do this.
Okay, guys. I got to move on, Laura.
Can't give up.
All right, now.
I love you. Can't give up.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to ask people, we got to keep it to 5 minutes. It's really supposed to be 3. That was 9 minutes. All right. All right. 501. Thank you for holding on. You're live. Hey, 501, how you doing?
Hey, Tim, is my audio okay?
We can't hear that good. You on speaker?
Yeah, let me change it. Is that better?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I'm eating up my 3 minutes. Hello, Tim. Sean from Arkansas. I'm going to be quick because we need to be quick. First thing is always to say thank you to Tim Black for doing what you do, man. It's awesome. So glad to be a part of it, and glad you're out here doing this. I want to apologize for being a meathead last time and trying to read my SD fiction on the show. I saw the look in your face, and I'm rich. But hey, I did.
All good, man. No problem, brother.
Listen, I want to bring up something I don't think anybody's talking about, man, and I think it's a really serious issue. I've seen, I'm 51. I've seen our country debate a lot of topics across time, all the big ones of gun control and abortion and all these things. I've seen our nation be on two sides of issues for a long time. That's not unusual. What is unusual today that I think is actually very detrimental to the whole country is how we are divided along truth and fiction lines. And specifically, it all ties together, of course, with the Trump-Russia collusion, but the DNC cheating of Bernie Sanders and all those different components of that story coming out of 2016 has led a whole lot of people that you and I care and love down a false path of a false narrative by which we are divided as a nation, and it's untenable. And I think that it's different than anything that I've seen our country face before, where we're just divided along truth and fiction line. I'm gonna just stop there and hope that you will speak to that and tell me what your opinion on is, how that's going to turn out. Where does that lead us when we have different realities that we're operating in within our country? And so that's all I'll say. I'll just hang up and listen. Thank you, Tim.
Hey, thank you, Sean, for the phone call, my friend. 408, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, what's up? It's No More Donations.
What's up, No More? What's up, man?
Hey, Oh, nothing much. This time I am going to keep it to 3 minutes. I'm even looking at the clock right now. Yeah, last time I called, you threw me for a loop with that 3 minutes. So I was like, I had all that stuff prepared. I even cut this. I was like, oh man. I told Bree later, so I sounded like I was on crack or something. I was going so fast. But anyway, so first of all, I want to thank you for that Tulsi video. You're like, I hadn't seen it. I have to admit, like I've been kind of busy, but I hadn't seen that. The video where she's talking to a woman who lost her 2 adult children. I think they were shot by estranged husband or boyfriend of her daughter. I'm not sure, but so you know, and you mentioned that people were like making comments that it was staged or something, and I don't know. I mean, some people are so damn cynical. I don't get it, but I kind of understand too, because there's a lot of hate against Tulsi coming from all over the place. But you know, I watched that video. I had to withhold tears myself. I don't know about you, but you know, I myself was like, I was getting choked up. So, and you could see Tulsi, she was getting emotional, but she was coming close to crying, but she kept it in, you know, and because when you're look, women, there's this double standard. Like if they show like quote unquote too much emotion, then they're somehow perceived as weak, or if they don't show enough emotion, they're like stone cold. So I think she did it just right, you know. But it seemed genuine to me. Maybe I'm too close because I'm a supporter of hers, but I perceived it as a pretty genuine moment. Just like Andrew Yang when I saw him crying when he was thinking about his kid, right? So you know, I can't judge people on showing like emotion, because look, we're all human. When we hurt, we got to show it some way, right? And I think everybody could feel that. I mean, I know I did. So anyway, that's about all I want to say. I kind of want to thank you on that anyway for pointing that out, because I wasn't aware of it. On a lighter note, you keep referring to this hypothetical Johnson character. So it kind of reminds me of the story my dad told me when he was a kid growing up as a boy in California in the 40s, you know. And you know, California isn't. I think I heard Stone Mountain Dave saying something like, "Oh, it's and I don't want to paraphrase him wrong, but he said basically it's like a progressive and liberal kind of state. And it's not somewhat, but there's a lot of conservative people. There's a lot of racism. I know because I experienced it as a boy myself. But anyway, so back to my dad. He said that he used to go to this grocery store where there's this white man that was the grocer. And when my dad would go there, he's about 7 or 8 years old, and the guy would always call him Pancho, you know. And if you're Mexican American, you know that's kind of like a stereotypical kind of name to like, oh, hey Pancho, what can I get for you, Pancho? This, that, and the other. And so my dad, you know, he was mad by that because that wasn't his name, and he told one of his aunts that, and his aunt told him, oh, he called you that? Oh, okay. Well, next time you go in, call him Mr. Jones. And so, the next time my dad went there and the guy called him Pancho, my dad says, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Jones." And my dad said the guy got so mad and angry, his face got red. He's like, "My name's not Mr. Jones." And my dad calmly said, "Well, my name's not Pancho," you know. And he never called my dad that again. So I just kind of want you to know that, because that kind of reminds, when you say Johnson, it's not the same Jones Johnson.
Right.
Whatever. It sort of triggered that memory for me. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, man. Like I said, I want to keep it short, let everybody else get in.
Thanks,
so thanks for everything you do, Tim. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, man.
Belated birthday too, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, man. Oh, man, my comment section, man. These guys are crazy, man. All right, so there are people who write me, and they complain that people get too much time on the phone and they can't get in. I know you may not agree, but there are people who be on the phone for 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour. Some people wait over an hour to talk, and then the phone line cuts off, and then they don't get a chance to talk. So we used to be 5 minutes, and people were abusing that, and they were going 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and that was bad too. I like certain callers that call, like Laura, who I love, who I've done videos of, just her talking. But I got to respect that there are other people who call the show. So I managed the show the best way I know how. I appreciate you. You ain't got to agree with me, but I'm just letting you know that's why. Okay? I'm going to go and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. But I'm gonna keep telling people, hey, I gotta cut you, because I can't let other people who support the show as well, who don't get a chance to talk. So now I'm wasting their time explaining it. So I'm gonna shut up, and I'm gonna go to the phone calls and bring another caller in. 812, thank you for being patient. He or she has been waiting 51 minutes to talk. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey. Hey, that's me, right?
That's you, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm good. So first off, just want to say I was told only to speak good about the dead. So the only thing I gotta say about David Koch being dead is just that, good. But I'm gonna keep this short. But I want to talk about Tulsi and the rigged polls. So we know that Tulsi has 2% and at least 26 polls so far. Right. She has at least 2% and at least 26 polls so far, but only 2 are qualifying. There's only been 4 qualifying polls since the second debate, and there are 14 before the second debate. So, well, anyways, everybody's been watching all these polls real close, and stuff. Well, on Twitter and Reddit, there's been this story going around, and it's about it's been making its rounds, Well, NBC and Wall Street Journal apparently had a poll last week, and you can find the article. You can find it in the article, "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for Trump" in the new NBC/Wall Street Journal poll. That's the name of the article where you can find this. Well, you go ahead, you click on that poll, and it's got all the regular polling information as normal. But then on page 6, or on the bottom of page 6, on the top of page 7, it starts talking about questions that they ask registered pollers. So they say, like, this is the important shit, basically, like the stuff where that will determine if you get on the Democratic debate or not. Mm-hmm. Well, 6 of those questions, they're not releasing. They're holding them until a later date. I wish I could send links on YouTube so I could just show you it. It's easier to describe in text, because then you'd be able to see it yourself. But basically, they're holding questions in this debate, and this is from a qualified pollster, so it should work, and or it should count. So I wanted to ask how much you want to bet those questions are about the Democratic primary, and that they're going to release those polls after the August 28th deadline.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry, man. What's your question?
Oh, it's how much you want to bet that the questions that they ask, or those questions that they're withholding, that they're not releasing yet. How much you want to bet that they're about the Democratic primary, and how that they're not going to release those until after the August 28th deadline for the third debates, because you got to get 2% in at least 4 different polls by August 28th.
Highly likely, man. Anything that favors them, man. I appreciate the phone call, man. I just don't trust the DNC, man. I'm sorry. I was trying to write down and keep. There's another question that a guy asked me earlier as well, and I didn't want to take time away, but I'll just say that same thing with the DNC. I feel that what they're trying to do is they're trying to push forth the candidates that they want to support. I mean, we learned nothing from 2016. We learned that they are a private organization that can push forth any candidate they want. Earlier caller Sean wanted to know what I think about people with opposing views. How can those people work together? And I think I'm all for people working together, but I'm not for a whole bunch of compromise in order to work together. Right? So I'm not going to curtail. I'm not going to just work with you just to be working with you, just to say we're working together. Like, we got to have some meeting of the minds on issues that matter. And I think that's important. I think some people get caught up in it. Oh, we just want to bridge the gap. Well, some people you can't work with. And that's okay. That's what the whole system of democracy is about. Go out and get people, more like-minded people, get them energized, get them to come out. You don't have to try to convert Republicans, or you don't have to convert neoliberals, or you don't have to convert libertarians, or you don't have to convert. You can go energize disaffected people who may have never voted in their lives, or people, you know what I'm saying, and get them. Like, so this whole thing of we need to compromise, and that's, to me, that's, don't get me wrong, that's fine, but I'm not going to give up on the issues that I care about just for the sake of compromise. And I think that's part of the problem, and that's why nobody likes moderate Democrats. At least that's why I don't like moderate Democrats. Let me speak for myself. Because everything's a compromise. And they want to sell you on that instead of selling you on the fact we can go hard in the paint for what we believe in and get people pumped up about that, because that energizes people. Compromise never energizes people. No one goes, yay! Compromise. People go, yay, let's get what we want, that we need to live. And we're going to get that. Let's fight for that. Reason why we got a minimum wage, the reason why we have a 40-hour work week, the reason why all the things that were, you know, to make our society a society, that workers were getting raped, man. Workers were getting raped, Johnson. We had to not compromise and get what we needed. All right, I'm going to go to the next call. Sorry for taking so long. I got an international call. 161, you're live. How you doing? You're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, Tim Black.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, this is your boy here, Alvin from Australia.
Alvin, talk to me, man.
Yeah, it's been a long week as usual. Where do I start? Anyway, Bernie as usual, always great. 3 plans. He brought out the Green New Deal. Mm-hmm. Yep, Green New Deal. He brought out which other one did he bring out again?
Criminal justice
plan, as well as.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the third plan. Anyway, all in 1 week, man. And again, there's an article that came out saying that the polls are underestimating him. So it makes you wonder what is going on with all of these polls. And most of us slightly political junkies have been looking at this polls and saying there's something wrong with these polls. So what I'm thinking, with all the negative articles, all the negative press that he's been getting from the mainstream media, he still has a core base of supporters that are not letting go, that are pushing him. And I believe Bernie is going to win. At this point, I don't see how he cannot win. And I have to give you credit, as well as other progressive outlets pushing him, as well as his team that had to create their own media apparatus. So altogether, I see it's helping to buffer at least the negative press that's being. So my own opinion, I might be wrong because I'm not too experienced, but I think Bernie is going to win because they have literally no answer at this point. And you can see their freak out. They're now bringing back Sarandon, attacking Nina Turner, attacking everybody, which is almost out of character. But my own take, he's going to win. And there's nothing they can do about it because there are things that he's doing this time around that he did not do in 2016. Like he already has the apparatus of these progressive groups that were not there in 2016, like Justice Democrats, Our Revolution, including DSA. All these groups plus the progressive media is going to propel him to the nomination. That's what I'm seeing right now. And no matter how many things happen around, it's not going to happen. And again, the best they could bring is Joe Biden, which keeps on making mistake after mistake after mistake. I just don't see anything else happening. He is going to win. And for the rest of us around the world that's watching this, it will be great because once a progressive wins in America, it's like a ripple effect. Every other nation would follow. Just like as Trump won, every other nation is a right-wing, crazy person that's following up. So keep on doing the great work. Because we need Bernie as well as in Australia. Anyway, I know I've gone beyond my 3 minutes. So
Thank you, Alvin.
thanks, Tim Black. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for making me laugh, but also speaking truth to power, man. And you're right. Bernie has excelled. He has improved his game this time as opposed to last. I'm so impressed with his new climate legislation, his criminal justice legislation. I mean, come on, guys. It is what it is. It really helps me fight the good fight. Giving me those tools really helps me to have these conversations, be more empowered to spread the word. 310, you're live. Freedom Friday. Thank you for holding on. What's your name? What's your comment?
Aloha, my kako. This is Moni. Nice to finally talk with you, Tim.
Hey, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'm a new subscriber. I saw your channel just recently, and I'm like, man, he's a breath of fresh air. I'm from Hawaii, but I reside here in California now for work. And I also thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm facing here. Every time I mention Tulsi Gabbard, they automatically feel like, oh, because I'm an islander, I'm using identity politics, and I need to support Tulsi. And I kind of feel for my black brothers and sisters, during Obama, saying, oh, I'm voting for him because he's black. And not that they voted for him, but just that notion of we're incapable of voting for someone beyond our identity. And, being here in California, I love it. We have a lot of family here. But just the other week, I had someone who asked me, oh, where you're from? I go, I'm from Hawaii. Oh, so when did you come to America? There's this still some ignorance here, and I just wanted to point out that Tulsi Gabbard is also Samoan. Her dad is American Samoan. Tulsi Gabbard was born in American Samoa. That's where I was raised, in American Samoa. And, I think Tulsi being a woman of color, I'm glad she's not really using that label, but she recognizes it without saying it. And I think people need to remember, our history and our where we came from. In Hawaii, we used to have a queen, Queen Liliuokalani. And because of white businessmen and because of the help of the U.S. government, our queen was overthrown, put a gun to her head, and was forced to abdicate the throne. In American Samoa, my grandparents and great-grandparents, because of our color of our skin, we weren't able to go to school. We were told who to marry. We weren't able to go to certain restaurants or ride certain vehicles or use certain restrooms. As far as school is concerned, it wasn't really segregation. We were not allowed to go to school, period. So my grandmother ended her school with a third-year education in third grade because she didn't have a Caucasian last name. So, these are the type of oppression that we come from, and I think people, when it comes to domestic issues, when it comes to racial issues, when it comes to local issues, I think they think, oh, Tulsi Gabbard is a one issue candidate, but she comes from a rich history of experience. She comes from a rich history of understanding these systemic issues that we're facing in 2019. I just mentioned an experience that happened to me a few weeks ago. There was another week where I went to Didi's, which is a clothing store here, and I swear to God, the cashier looked at me and said, why are you dressed like that? And I was in my island wear, and I said, oh, because I can. And then he goes, I've always been curious. Where are you from? I go, I'm from Hawaii, raised in Samoa. And then he goes, I've always been curious, does Hawaii use Hawaiian currency or U.S. currency? So, I feel like there's this notion of being from the islands, people think we're out of touch of what's going on in this country. But we're just as American as everyone else. And I think Tulsi's using her platform to go to the Midwest, to go to the rustic belt, to go to the eastern coast and the western coast here in California, and showing them that us islanders are just as competent, if not so, maybe more so than, a lot of others in the country. But that just tells you that we have a lot going. We have a lot to go. We have a lot more to do in terms of educating and spreading awareness, because America is a plethora of cultures. It's a plethora of people. We're not a monolith. We all don't think the same.
Very true.
But I appreciate this platform. I thank you for this time, and thank you for giving a voice of even this islander here in California. So please keep on doing what you're doing. I'm a new fan, and I'm going to stay a fan, and I appreciate you. Much love. Aloha and mahalo.
Aloha, mahalo to you as well, my friend. Thank you so much, man, for calling in and educating people, man. And I did not mean to laugh, brother. It was not funny. It was like, I can't believe people are like, they don't understand you're American. I mean, to me, that's just crazy. It's not funny, but it's, it's funny. It's funny, sad. You know what I mean? It's like sad, funny for me as an American. To like, why aren't these other Americans knowing that he's an American? What kind of money they thought you had? Like, what kind of money you think I got? Yeah. Rubles? Anyway, thank you for calling up. And thank you for the history lesson as well. Some black people did vote for Obama because he was black, though. That's right. It's true. Now, some of them wish they could go back and change that shit, but look who he was running against, though. It's Hillary. Then when he was running against McCain, it was like, yeah, we had to go with Obama. Then when he ran against Mitt Romney, it was like, come on, man. So anyway, yeah. 734. 734, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Yo, this Money Train, Tom.
What's up, man?
You all right? Can you hear me?
Yep, you good.
Okay, first thing first, I want to take care of this question I keep seeing in the chat. Y'all keep acting surprised by the DNC. The DNC, like we don't know that they're evil and corrupt. Did y'all get the email leak when they came out and said, hey, don't offer Black Lives Matters any substantial anything. Just say you feel sorry for them. Like, that is the DNC. They don't care. They're the Dixiecrats. So next thing is, we fell for Obama because he was elegant and he talked smooth. Like, a lot of females fall for bad guys who talk smooth. Like, he just made us feel good while we were bombing other countries and effing the world over. Like, we have slavery in Libya right now because of Barack Obama. So every time I see a black man say, I love my Barack Obama, let me put him next to MLK and Malcolm X, I just want to slap him upside their head. Like Tim said, it's the stupid, ignorant stuff. I voted for Barack the first time because I was 18. He was a black guy. He was going against Hillary Clinton. The rest of the field, it was like, you know what? Put my money in this slot machine. And that was the dumbest thing I ever did. And I ain't voting.
90 seconds.
I ain't gonna vote right now unless I get a black agenda. So let me go ahead and get back to what y'all was talking about. Capitalism and billionaires. Capitalism kills everything. So you're talking about this Koch guy. Good riddance. Okay, now let's jump back to Jay-Z, the billionaire. Jay-Z is not a billionaire. Just because you have accumulated a certain amount of wealth don't mean you have that wealth. That's the trick that they play on the black community with Jay-Z. He's a billionaire. No, Jay-Z's not nowhere near worth $1 billion. Now, he's probably amassed worth
60 seconds.
Assets, he doesn't have that. Okay. Now, Jay-Z, after that came out, when he did what he did, rumors was, okay, Jay-Z might own part team. Y'all, let's calm down. Let's see, he's about to get a part ownership. Jay-Z ain't about to own nothing. It just came out with an article saying Jay-Z is not about to own part of a team. That was just a rumor. So capitalism kills everything. It killed the Kaepernick movement. It killed the collectiveness of us being able to tear him down and correct him and everything. Like, oh, you had people, just Jay-Z fans riding the fence like, come on, man, this Jigga Man. He put up Barclays and kicked out a whole bunch of black people in New York. Come on, man, come on. Like, no, you don't even know these people. We project ourselves onto entertainers, and that's all we have in the black community is entertainers. Like you say, you either going to shoot a jump shot or rap out this mother. Like, no, we don't have that. We need to stop. We need to cut
10 seconds.
and stop using them. Anytime you see a news and media outlet bring on the entertainment to speak on issues, a black entertainer to speak on black issues, just turn off the TV because they about to sell you some bullshit. Okay, now let's talk about the media now again and billionaires. Let's stick on this topic. Right now, there's a billionaire named Byron Allen, a black billionaire who owns cable companies. He has $1 billion lawsuit against Comcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's already won on 2 levels of the lower courts. Now they kicked it up to the Supreme Court. Trump has his best people in the criminal justice department on this case, trying to chip away at the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Okay, this is one of the only few things black people got left is the Civil Rights Act in 1866, forcing the government and people, everybody in this country, to do contracts with us. Like, you can't deny us. So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to strip that away. And I find it funny because nobody's talking about it. No celebrity, no media outlet, nobody. Nobody's giving us any coverage. But we talking about Popeye's chicken, Church's chicken, your mama's chicken, and everybody's chicken except the money chicken that black people need. Now, this lawsuit right here can open up avenues for you to have a TV show yourself, you know what I'm saying, on TV, on mainstream TV, and the cable companies is forced to pick it up and show it. This is what we need right now to break the mainstream corporation construction. But nobody's covering it. So, like, I don't know if you know or not. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. So, like, if you could cover this more, I would greatly appreciate it. But this needs to be talked about. And it's just like nobody's talking about it. Man, it's just really sad out here that it's got to this point, especially for myself and my family. Like, man, I'm at a loss for words. So, and it was even more sad is I saw these people using the civil rights off the back of my ancestors. But right now, when this civil rights is getting chipped away at, nobody's saying anything. Where's the LGBTQ community? Where's the white females, since they are minorities? Where's the Christians? Like, where is everybody? Why are we doing this by ourselves? But y'all want to use the Civil Rights Act and everything that our people have set out there for you. It's insane. Now, I'm about to get off the phone, but there's one last thing. We've been talking about these candidates. I love Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard can pull in people from the left, from the right. She can pull in army people. She can pull in people who want to stop regime change wars. She can pull in immigrants from other countries that now citizens in our country is like, okay, she's trying to stop people from bottom of my country. I'm with her. Tulsi has a mass appeal. Plus, she's appealing. Like, she's just hot. She got that Wolverine X-Men streak in her hair. Like, she got her own thing popping. Now, Bernie is the man, the dream ticket for me. If I was white, I would be voting for a Bernie Sanders and a Tulsi Gabbard ticket. But when I say that, I'm not voting for anybody because I don't have a black agenda to vote for. Now, if you want to say Bernie's criminal justice reform plan is something for black people to vote for, okay, I can kind of agree with that, but I can also say that's kind of an insult and backslap. Like, you telling me that you want to fix the system in this country so people know it's not getting harassed and my people ain't getting harassed no more. It's not like a form of reparations. It's not like, hey, I'm doing this for you. This is still something for everybody. It's just you finally acknowledging y'all been effing my people over for years and years and years and I'm unfairly been towards us. But that's not reparations. And then, so what Bernie Sanders, you say,
all right, man.
I'm for reparations.
All right. Thank you, Money Trainer. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You had me till you went down that route, man. Criminal justice reform is not supposed to take the place of reparations, bro. It's a thing that needs to happen in this country that will over-index and it will disproportionately impact positively black people. But it's not supposed to take the place of reparations. It's not supposed to. So if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't know how you watch this show if you're a person that don't believe that any candidate's worth this salt, that we should have no president because you can't get reparations. I mean, so we just don't have no president. Just don't vote, I guess. But I disagree with it. I think it's nearsighted. Bernie Sanders is the best candidate. That package alone would change life in this country if that package is to pass. That would change life fundamentally for a lot of people. And just because it's not a check or it's not land doesn't mean that I like the fact that it has nothing to do with reparations because reparations should still be on the table. It should be on the table, separate. But I'm going to keep it moving. 1111111. You're live. Tim Black on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
My name's Adam from Yosemite. I can't believe I'm 11111. Is it me?
Yeah, that's you, Adam.
I called you last time, but it didn't make any sense because I'm a crazy person.
It's all good.
Right, so I have a criticism about Bernie. Full disclosure, I like Yang's domestic policy more, and he has some positions that I prefer, especially with democracy reform, which is more important than anything if you want to get the other things solved. But my problem with Bernie's new plan, which I actually love for the most part, and I think it's a little way too optimistic about the amount of jobs, but it's really wrong on nuclear, and it's not something that's intuitive to progressives or anyone. We need nuclear energy reactors, especially the safe type, because we have 2,000 nuclear missiles. And if we don't have nuclear reactors, we can't get unenrich the nuclear materials. Like, there's way safer thorium reactors, and thorium is a super abundant, safe material that isn't radioactive normal that we can use to get rid of these nuclear weapons. Like, it's like the number 3 threat. Poverty is number 1, like climate change is number 2, then nuclear weapons is number 3, and our arsenal is way too big. Like, if we really go down the path of a really bad depression, nuclear weapons are going to become more and more of a threat to the world, and we have way too many. So I can't agree to any Green New Deal that puts out nuclear, simply because it's short-sighted on dealing with our current nuclear weapon supply. What do you think, Tim?
I think I don't know enough about the subject to comment, but I appreciate you, Adam, calling up and making your piece and saying how you felt, and I'm cool with that. 917, you're live with Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Kennedy from Brooklyn. How's it going?
What's up, Kennedy?
So, yeah, you caught on to the same thing that I caught on to earlier. Simone Sanders, the mole, the return of the mole. And now this time she's calling for Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, who can't, sit up through a debate because he's sundowning. First, I think it's a disservice to the country that she's doing this, because if he really can't perform, I'm sorry, he shouldn't be running. Even if she's just doing it to block Bernie, if he actually did get through, I mean, it would set us on a really bad course. It would probably ensure Trump's second term. So I think she's being selfish, and I think she needs to be called out. Simone Sanders, the mole. Oh, I'm so sick of her. The only person who I don't like more than her is Debbie Wasserman Schultz, which, by the way, in Florida news, she is also tied to more corruption. Like, when is she going to get brought down? I think all of us just need to, call her out, because she's still holding a seat in government, and she needs to be holding a seat in friggin' Gitmo. But anyway, sorry. So, yeah, Simone Sanders. Okay, so at the San Francisco DNC event, one of your earlier callers mentioned the same thing that I noticed, how all of these Kamala Harris supporters got up and left when Bernie was speaking, and they made it kind of boisterous, kind of they just made a spectacle of themselves as they were leaving, making it very clear they were anti-Bernie. And it made me think of a tweet from Neera Tanden from, I think, last week, which I had to, of course, send back to her. But that said, you can tell the trajectory of a campaign by the way people behave. And it basically said that good campaigns, people are happy, and lousy campaigns, people are mad. And if you notice the rest of that event, all of the Kamala stands were furious. In fact, they were even so they're like the lost sheep. How you always see the sheep with the bucket on its head. They remind me of that, where they're so lost that they went outside and they started picking a fight with the Sunrise Movement. They started counter-protesting with the Sunrise Movement for Kamala. I'm like, what? They're trying to save the planet. Anyway, it was just unbelievable. If you do happen to see any footage of that, you'll laugh. But Kamala, it's clear that her campaign has taken such a tremendous nosedive since Tulsi Gabbard dismantled and brutalized her publicly and basically plucked all of her feathers in public. And now there's, plucked Kamala trying to act tough. It's not working. As for the Amazon burning down. It's the lungs of the planet. And just a few weeks ago, the indigenous people won a lawsuit against oil companies and developers, and it was historic. And here we are 2 weeks later, and the Amazon has been burning down. So I think, and it doesn't take Nancy Drew to figure it out. Just go to all the people who were involved in that lawsuit and hold them accountable, because these are the people who set 75 spontaneous fires in different places far enough away from each other that it really divided all the people who could be fighting the fires by having them split into smaller and smaller groups. They couldn't battle the fire. So now the lungs of the planet are burning. And it's funny that, one of the Koch brothers should pass away when this is happening, because it's sort of like, oh, well, my job's done, and I'm out. Because he's been killing the planet himself. So it's kind of, oddly poetic. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Tim, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for always being so welcoming and creating a platform for all of us to share. Before I go, one last thing. I love how in all of the smack talk that Trump likes to give, he never goes after Bernie. Bernie always manages to clown him, and he doesn't go after Bernie. So who's the real threat?
Wow.
We all know. Anyway, thanks so much. Always a pleasure speaking to you. Talk to you again, hopefully next week.
You got it, man. Thank you for the phone call. Well, you're right. I'm not being called Bernie, Crazy Bernie. Something it was. Crazy Bernie. That was a while ago, though. I think that was back in 2016. Next phone call, 816. Live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's King James. I'm from KC I got a couple of truth bombs to drop here real quick.
All right.
Hopefully I have enough time. By the way, I love your show.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, I'm from Missouri. I wanted to dispel the moderate Democrat myth real quick. There was a whole lot of progressive legislation that passed here, and people voted very much to get Claire McCaskill out of office. And I live in the Bible Belt. I saw the comments. People hate Warren here. Everyone was like, oh, Claire McCaskill, she supports Elizabeth Warren. So, I mean, she's just not a good candidate for so many reasons. Now, I did want to get to this whole Tulsi Gabbard thing with the polls. Back in February, it was reported that Howard Dean was going to be the person who was in charge of the DNC polling data. Now, a lot of people made a big fuss about this back then. Nothing ever happened. He put out tweets where he specifically said, yeah, that's Tulsi Gabbard. I'm trying to be non-biased here, but she's not qualified because she met with Assad. It seems like everybody's really forgotten about this whole Howard Dean thing, and I just really wanted to bring it to everybody's attention again. It really needs to get back out there because obviously, from everything I've seen, he's playing with the polls. The rest of the polls are pretty much controlled by the media. I don't know if you've been following the Robert Yeager stuff that he's been doing on Medium. It's excellent. He's been exposing why TYT has been so much against Tulsi. He exposed CAA, UTA, the owners of each of those places decided that they were going to write a letter after Tulsi Gabbard stepped down from being the DNC co-chair. And these guys said that they were very disappointed in her and that after this, they weren't going to give her any support. Basically, the DNC cut off Tulsi after that. Now, I want you to notice that every time that someone endorses Kamala Harris, almost every time, they are affiliated with the CAA, Creative Artists Agency. I mean, Spike Lee and Jessica Alba, that's just naming two. Going straight to United Talent Agency, Cenk, Anna, Chuck Todd, Joe Biden. These are just a couple of the people that are on United Talent Agency, along with Samantha Bee. And they're all going for Warren. You look at it, and every time that there's an endorsement for Warren, it's someone that's being managed by United Talent Agency DNC, and I just think it's something that a lot of journalists are missing.
Wow.
And I hope that people talk about it more.
Brother, thank you for dropping those truth bombs, man. You know what? That's very helpful. Now I understand why Charlamagne the Guy was riding so hard for Kamala Harris. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And I'm going to see who else is on the Creative Artists Agency and the United Talent Agency. And I'm going to check out Robert Yeager. And we're going to look into Howard Dean as well. With his Tulsi tweets. Interesting stuff, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have a research staff, man, so anytime you got info like this, email me at tim@timblacktv.com. Wow. 310. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
This is Edie.
Hey.
From Los Angeles. How you doing?
I'm
Enjoy
good.
your show, man.
Thank you.
One of the things that I would like to say to you and your listeners is that everyone is against Bernie, but no one wants to talk about all the issues he has brought up that they're all running on. My question to you is, if you get a chance, it comes on Netflix. It's called The Great Hack. And it will show you what really happened with these elections and how these people with mega money put their money to work. Silicon Valley, all these people that got this mega money, it's all run by computers. And that's why Chelsea was saying we need to go back to paper ballots. Because with paper ballots, you can't tamper with without going inside the actual box itself. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And I think, as you mentioned, and another one of your callers mentioned, the best ticket out there is Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard, because they're for the people and not for these corporations. They're the only ones talking about trying to help somebody. These other politicians are not talking about helping anybody. They want to take and take. Meaning, why do you want to keep cutting into Social Security? Why do you want to keep cutting down Medicaid, Medicare? You got people believing that these are entitlements. These are things people pay into from their paychecks.
Yep.
It's not an entitlement.
Absolutely.
So these key words that they use to confuse people, because people don't want to take time out and think for a moment. They're too busy looking on their phones and looking at this silly tube to actually analyze and understand. I've been paying into Social Security. You got teachers that can't get Social Security because they get a pension. That makes no sense. The government will tell you in a minute that you're double dipping. But each one of those officials are triple dipping, because wherever they came from in politics, they got a check that's been following them all the way up that food chain. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about all these people sitting in politics of millionaires and billionaires. You got Elizabeth Warren, who can't keep a straight face from flip-flopping. You got, ask this question if you get a chance. How is it that as soon as they drop Joe Biden in there, he becomes the front runner? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They don't want to talk about how much money Bernie Sanders has since he's been running. He done quadrupled every candidate that's in there. They don't going to talk about that. So if the DNC rigs this again against this man, we as people need to go out and destroy the DNC, because this is crazy.
All right, look,
we need to get rid of.
What's that?
We need to get all these politicians need to be in there for term limits. They should not be in there for life. This is crazy. This is crazy again, because they don't do anything but serve their own purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Wow. Good comment, man. Obama just purchased a $15 million house out there in Martha's Vineyard, didn't he? But Bernie got a house for $500,000. Thank you for the phone call, man. 412. You're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Jim. Hey, Wolfpack. It's Uli.
Uli!
Wow. First of all, this is one for the books, this show. Every single call. I'm just sitting here listening, and your rant was fantastic, first of all. Your monologue at the beginning was just really, really on fire tonight. As far as the Koch guy, well, when an evil like this leaves this earth, it's a blessing. So that's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? There's energies, there's good energies on this planet, and there are bad energies. Well, he was really bad energy, and so he's here no longer. And that's a good thing for us. Who's getting home? So there's that. And then the calls, no more. I love the story. No more donations brought up by his dad.
Yeah.
That was awesome. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you can, that was so civilized and so well handled. If we could all handle our issues like that, yeah, that was a really good lesson. No more. And for me, I just got to add just sort of I don't know, maybe an exclamation mark to just about everything what everybody had to say. There was something in every single call that I can feel along with. I think we all can, and that's why we're all sort of glued to our various screens here tonight, listening and taking this all in. The blatancy in which these politicians operate, and I'm not talking to any particular party, I'm talking the whole spectrum of what we're witnessing and what we're experiencing. That blatancy is an insult. I mean, to any thinking person is an insult. What we're observing is so absurd. Yeah, I find it insulting. You know what I mean? Like the corruption left and right everywhere. So one thing though, I like the caller, and I didn't catch his name, who also, spoke about voting or not voting based on certain agendas, and specifically black agenda and reparations. And that's a big issue, and that's something I really has sort of crystallized as a big fight for me. And I still tell all my friends, like, listen, we have to be careful not to try to put the carriage before the horse here, and we should really still look at an agenda that at least helps. If you have a big wound, I mean, if you hurt yourself in that moment, you will grab at anything, let's say you're bleeding, that could stop that blood. And it's not ideal, and it may not save you, but then again, it might. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I hit myself and I'm bleeding, whatever I can grab onto to put on that wound to stop it from bleeding that very moment, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to think about it, whether this is actually a really good thing I'm doing or not. I'm just going to do it. It's an instinct. You know what I mean? And I think that's the point where we're at. So the thing we can grab at right now that is Bernie, right? I mean, he'd be that stick that I would grab and push into my wound to hope and pray it would stop it from bleeding until I can actually really fix that wound. And to all my friends, I want to say that the one thing is when you argue with anyone, because if you talk, whether you talk about health care for all or education or reparations for ADOS, which need to happen, I'm saying it here, they need to happen. But no matter what you talk about, anytime you talk about anything for us, for the people, there's going to be someone, and it's going to be one of the people. It's not going to be a billionaire, because you don't hang out, you don't go to lunch with billionaires, I assume, not most of us here, right? No. It's going to be some dumbass sitting across the table from you who's no richer or better off than you are, and say, well, who's going to pay for it all? Well, and we always question who's going to pay for the things that we pay, that our taxes should be paying for, and that's what we're questioning. And my standard answer has become like, well, a government that has trillions for imperialistic warfare ought to be able to squeeze out some money somewhere for us, so that we can get health care, and so that we can get educated, our children can get educated, and so that we can pay a debt, this government can pay a debt that it owes, whether we like it or not.
Right.
You know, I mean, and then people really, their jaw dropped. You cannot come up with a logical argument to this. I said, I'm glad to know that would bother you, that your neighbor can get insulin, and that that all these things could happen, that your child could get an education. That's where it bothers you. But I'm glad it doesn't bother you that your tax dollar right now kills millions of people all over the planet constantly. So that's what I want to put out there. When I think people united, the numbers of protesters grew against the Vietnam War. I think that's when that government had to take a step back. I think that's when the people said, okay, it's enough, is enough. So for now, I think let's unify behind our needs, the needs that we all share, and the things that we know that we all have to end, and that is the war and the climate crisis. So that's something to unify, and in that aspect, look at the candidates who have an agenda that help us do that. Have a great weekend. I don't know if that was 3 minutes. I tried. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Good night, you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uli. I appreciate it. Close enough. We're getting there. 814. Here you go. 814, you're live. Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, this is Rob.
Hey, Rob.
First, I'm going to get right to it here, and it's going to be serious. First of all, the Koch bought 36 states. There's 36 states that are fully corrupted by them, all the state legislators, everything. So they were not nice people. Good riddance, Koch. Anyways, Donald Trump is a psycho. He has no government experience. He has no law experience. He has no actual business experience of anything other than spotting people and ripping them off, licensing his name on buildings. He's a fraud. He's a phony. He could not run a public company with stockholders. He doesn't know how to do that. So he's no stable genius, and people need to quit believing that he's some kind of smart person because he brags that he's rich. He's rich because he didn't pay the government any taxes, and I know that. Anyways, I don't know if you saw today, he ordered companies to decide how they're going to return to the United States. And he did that on Twitter. Well, if you follow that tweet, let me tell you what else he ordered the post office, UPS, FedEx, everybody else to search their packages for fentanyl with no warrant, no constitution, no law. He doesn't believe in that. He just breaks it all and is never held accountable. And people need to pull their goddamn head out of their ass and wake up and see this shit. Because I'm sick of it. I'm running against this asshole. And I've tried to tell these people this, and they just can't get through their goddamn head. And that's why I started swearing all over the fucking Twitter. I am sick of the shit. And if you like it, I'll tell you what they can do. Go to the store, buy you a chainsaw. Go out in your backyard and cut down a 40-foot tree and sharpen a big point on it and jam it up your ass. Because that's what the rest of the Trump administration is going to feel like. That's all I got to say, Tim. And thanks for taking my call, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Have a good weekend, sir. Jesus Johnson. Getting a little aggressive there. Told me to shove a piece of wood up my posterior. Jesus. Thought we were friends. It's not what you tell a friend to do. 716, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, how you doing? My name's John Trippy out of Buffalo, New York. So I want to get your thoughts on a couple of things. First thing was looking through Real Clear Politics. Right now, if you take Biden, Bernie, Warren, they hold about 60% of the vote for the Democrats. So, those are the real top three, to myself, anyways. So that leaves, when you get to real Iowa, Nevada, New Hampshire, that's 40% of the vote that's out there. So I guess my main two things are, what do you think about that? Where do you think that 40% will most likely go to? And the second thing is, we still have 6 months till Iowa. Can Joe Biden actually keep up when the Iowa, starts going big time campaigning, and then it goes to New Hampshire, and then it goes to South Carolina and Nevada? Do you think he's gonna be able to keep up with that? I'll hang up and listen and hear what you got to say, but I love what you do. Keep it up, and just keep at it, man. Just keep giving it to him.
Thank you,
All
brother.
right, thanks.
Thank you, man. I'm going to answer right after I get to these last two calls, but I wrote down your question. 707. 707, you're live. What's your name? What's your question? Or your comment?
Hey.
Hey.
This is Gregory Wonderwheel from Sonoma County, California.
All right, Callie in the house.
What's that?
I said Callie's in the house. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Hey, Biden, Pelosi, Obama, Clinton, they weren't progressives. They weren't even liberals. But I'm going to say the difference between a liberal and a progressive. A liberal wants change for the better, but doesn't want to rock the boat. A progressive knows there is no change for the better without rocking the boat. That's my little maxim for today. I'm going to be 70 years old this year, and I want to do a little walk down memory lane. October 4, 1957, I went out in the backyard and watched Sputnik 1 fly over my house in Los Angeles. And that was the day science fiction became real for me. August 31, 1967, Martin Luther King gave his Three Evils of Society speech. The same November that year, I had to register for the draft, and one of the Three Evils of Society was militarism. The other two were racism and extreme materialism. So I registered as a conscientious objector in 1967, I mean. That was when I turned 18. I couldn't vote that year in 68 because the 26th Amendment hadn't been passed, so I had to wait till 1972 to vote. And July 1st, 1971 is when the 26th Amendment was ratified. But it was June 6, 1972, when I got the vote for my first presidential primary candidate, and that was Shirley Chisholm. Wow. And her motto was unbossed and unbought. So this is sort of like the history of why I'm for Tulsi Gabbard, because as a conscientious objector, as someone who got to vote, cast my very first vote for Shirley Chisholm, to me, Tulsi Gabbard is the unbossed and unbought candidate that and against the war candidate that I've been waiting for my whole life. So I'm voting for her. If she doesn't make it, which of course realistically doesn't look like it, I'll vote for Bernie. And if it's not Bernie or Tulsi, I'll most likely vote for a Green Party person. But that's where I'm at. I just every time I think about Shirley Chisholm, I'm just filled with love for that woman. She actually won New Jersey in 1970, the New Jersey primary in 1972. And all you young whippersnappers listening to this show, go to YouTube and look up Shirley Chisholm and her unbossed and unbought campaign announcement. She was quite a phenomenon. And she also got a raw deal from her black male counterparts in Congress. She said she had more trouble from men than she got more trouble being a woman, more prejudice about being a woman than she got about being black. She said the black men in Congress wouldn't give her basically a fair shake or the time of day.
Wow.
So that's my history lesson for today, Tim. And I got to say, you always make me laugh in your program, so I love it.
Well, thank you, my brother. Thank you for calling up and invoking the name Shirley Chisholm, man, and giving us a little history on that. And also, I like your maxim. I had a Ajamu Baraka who ran for the VP slot for the Green Party last election. And Ajamu, he said he was a radical. And I said, Ajamu, what's a radical, man? People hear that, they get a word. He said, well, a radical is just people who believe that we need fundamental, comprehensive change. That sounds a lot like your maxim that liberals, the difference between liberals and progressives, liberals want to change. They know we need change, positive change, but they don't want to rock the boat. And progressives know the only way to get positive change is to rock the boat. I see it's both as the same type of sentiment. So thank you for that comment, brother. I hope you don't mind if I borrow it. It hits home. And yeah, good stuff. 917, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, what's going on, brother? My name is Leroy, calling out of Las Vegas. How you doing today, man?
Hey, Leroy, what's up, man?
Not much. So, I want to kind of touch back on what you was talking about, what the guy was talking about before, and he was, coming from Hawaii. I want to thank him for that educational piece. That was really crazy. Like, I didn't even know that went down like that out there, But, to the people that's talking about, like, reparations, like, I'm all for it, right? I'm Black American, first born in the States and stuff, but my thing is, like, I ask my friends, like, yo, what would reparations look like for you? Like, no one can really give me an answer on that. But my thing is, like, I'm riding with Bernie because he's working on fixing the system overall, and that's something that we really do need. Because let's say if they did say, you know what, all right, cool, we'll go ahead and give y'all reparations. Now, I could easily see them trying to, like, finagle, we're going to take these safety nets away. Let's go ahead and take away, food stamps. Let's go ahead and take away Social Security, all of those type of programs and stuff like that. But my thing is, like, let's fix the system. Then we can go ahead and talk about, like, okay, cool. Bernie is planning on getting all of these proposals, taken care of in the first 4 years of his administration, if I'm not mistaken. He get reelected, he start making these moves, then he can start working on other things like that and build upon the foundation that he's working on. But hey, my question to you too, though, is, like, have you thought about, like, what reparations would look like to you? And if so, like, what would that look like to you?
All right, man. Thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. And wow, brother. Reparations. What does reparations look like to me? I think that I agree with you in that there's so many things that we need to fundamentally change about our system in order for us to even be at a point where we can say, okay, now let's deal with this issue, this legacy of issue, this debt. And I like the way Uli put it, debt. No one, like, when you owe people, no one cares about, like, if you owe me $100, you owe me $100. You should pay me my $100. You shouldn't be like, oh, well, how am I pay you? You got $100? Yeah. That's how you pay me. You owe me. If you owe my father, you owe me. He gone now. You owe me. Isn't that how it works? If you owe me and I die, you owe my family. Because they ain't my family. And your debt is still owed. America, not you. America, not you. You person. So there's a lot of things about this. My thing is this, guys. Even some of the most ardent supporters of the ADOS movement and supporters of reparations in its current form and this conversation we've been having, this newly immersive conversation that so many people are engaging in, right? Those people were Bernie supporters. I understand the logic of they don't want to let Bernie off the hook. We got to hold him accountable. We got to get what we can get. We got to get this as for our people. We can't let our feelings about Bernie, and because they wanted, like, I know a couple of these people voted for Bernie and were speaking very highly of him last election. A lot of these people in this movement, because they know Bernie's policies would have greatly, positively impacted black folks, poor black folks. So my thing is, I don't believe that Bernie Sanders could run on it. America, to me, is still too racist for a candidate to be able to run on that. I know I don't want it to be that way. It's just what I believe. And I think most people believe it as well. They won't say it. Instead, they'll throw black people under the bus, which I don't understand. Why don't you just have the guts to say, hey, man, if he runs on it, it's too many white people he needs to vote for him who won't vote for him to win. Who are so busy going, I can't, why should I have to? You don't have to. You're not paying. The government's paying. They're paying for stuff right now you don't want them to pay for that aren't debts. You know that, right? You do realize it. So I'm about to answer your question. What does reparations look like? It looks like something we need to deal with once we get Bernie Sanders elected. That's what it looks like. Let's get somebody in there who believes in comprehensive criminal justice reform, who believes in getting rid of, believes in personhood over capital corporations, people over corporations. Let's get that person in. Then let's take the Senate. Let's take the Senate and let's get out of these, kick out the neoliberals. Let's have a real comprehensive reform where all thousands and thousands of millions of Americans have joined together to fight against this system and reform it. It's not going to be one person. It's going to be millions of people who are united to fight against the oligarchs. How much did Amazon pay in taxes last year? You know it. 0. It's crazy. We need that guy. All right, guys. Get that guy in there. Then we'll talk reparations. And I don't want $100 in a pack of annihilators either. All right, so we don't have we need to talk about these things. All right, it was $10,000. Thank you for 400 years of oppression. No, mofo. So we need to really look at that. What will that look like? Okay. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Remember, become a Tim Black TV member. Go to patreon.com, sign up, Tim's Take Live, $5 a month, $10 a month, something like that, whatever you can do. We have cleared the queue. I've cleared the queue. This has been 3 hours, man. This chair hurts. Trying to tell you. Somebody was like, Tim looks uncomfortable. Tim's in pain right now. I need to get a better chair. But the guys, you always impress me. Shout out to every caller who called up tonight and lent their voice and spoke their piece and spoke on it. Without kowtowing to the establishment who just kept it real. Thank you all. You're all amazing. And you know who you are. List of great people that called up. Thank you for the people that joined the Tim Black Speak On It group. You're amazing. Thank you for doing that. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with come 2020. Also, I want to tell people who've already joined the Tim Black Wolfpack, email me. Don't email me. Yeah, email this mailbox, clientcare@timblacktv.com. A new group of Tim Black Wolfpack gift packs are going out. I want to make sure I get you, so send you that. So you email me your mailing address so I can send you your kit, okay? Thank you so much, guys. It includes bumper stickers and stuff. And it's just my way of giving back to you and just do something in the real world that shows off what we're about. So thank you so much, guys. Amazing show. We don't always have to agree. But just know, I just hope that our minds, our hearts are always in the right direction. We're always moving forward, and we want the best for everyone. I want the best for you. I hope you want the best for me. I want the best for this platform. I want the best for the people that I reach. I actually want to make a change. I actually want to impact the world. That's what my legacy, I want my legacy to be. I hope you want the same for yours. We're doing that together here on this show. Not me, us. We are one. Let's keep doing it, guys. All right. Don't forget, you can find me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. The Speak On The group on Facebook, the whole nine. You know where everything is. I love you. Have a safe weekend. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. I'm trying to tell you guys, if I see you letting somebody take your cornbread, me and you going to have a conversation. And it ain't going to be friendly because you need to keep your cornbread. When I say keep your cornbread, if you know what that means you keep your pride, your integrity, things that matter to you. You stand up for yourselves. You stand up for the people that you love. You stand up for this movement. You keep your character and your ethics intact. Don't you be like Simone Sanders being a scumbag. Don't you be like these politicians, these weaklings. You be courageous in all things. We're going to fight the good fight. Stand for something or fall for anything. Also, remember, you don't have to argue with people. You just sprinkle some facts on them. You don't sit there going back and forth with a person, trying to change their opinion. A man changed against his will is of the same opinion still. You know that. So don't do it. It's a waste of time and effort. What you need to do is just tell them something. Leave them with one fact, something that they could hang their hat on, something that they can think about and research on their own. People have to be involved in their own education or there is no education. Tell them, I know you like Obama. He seemed like a really great guy. He was well-spoken, but he also took us to war in 7 places. He came into office, we were at war in 2 places. By the time he left, we were at war in 7 places. He dropped more bombs in his first year than any other president had ever dropped. That money could have been better spent to clean up places like Flint, to clean up places like Chicago, to clean up places like Maryland and D.C. and all across this country, in Alabama, and people out in Appalachia. A lot could have been done with that money, but that money was spent in wars, regime change wars, and BS, and bombs, drones, and stripped away our civil rights. That freaking Patriot Act, he doubled down. He didn't bring the prisoners. He didn't let the prisoners go. He didn't bring all the soldiers home. It's a lot he fell short on. Just pick one. Just pick one. That's all. Don't tell them all that. Just one of those. And if they want to tell you, well, Trump looked like he's doing good for the economy, like a caller said, hey, the average American can't afford a $500 emergency. So when he says the economy's doing well, yeah, for the corporations. Corporations are under no obligation to pass that doing good on to you. What they do is they give it to their shareholders, give it to themselves, and buy back their own stock. That's what they do. That does not benefit you. That benefits them. All right, I'm gone, guys. Have a great weekend. I love you. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to come to the channel, watch the video, and keep the show going. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go to Super Chat. Woo! People in the chat like Mike Thompson. Thank you, Mike, for joining. Mark Buscarello, thank you for joining, Mark Buscarello. Larry the Truth once again is in the house. Scumocratics Republican Warren and Scumocratics Curry. Biden like the weekend at Bernie's. Cheryl Tyler said David Koch said Bernie will be president over my... Uh-oh. Sure, you bad, but I love you anyway. That's probably why I love you. Who am I lying? Larry the Truth. Koch brothers won in war with Iran and Venezuela. It's still their oil. Screw them, Republicans and the Scumocratics. JV Vale said, Timmy! What's up, JV? Rosemarie Sirigano, thank you for the super chat. David Maysel, he said, we need everyone here to boycott Brazil and send a message to the ultra-right with our wallets. Hey, I'm with it. I've been hearing about Bolsonaro. Yeah. M. Craig, keep up to support Tulsi needs all of us. We need to call out the DNC. It's a moral imperative, says M. Craig. Larry the Truth once again says Bernie 2020 or bust. Screw those Scumocratics. And B4 says Jank Wolfpack is phony. If it's okay with Warren, yeah, I got a problem with Jank not calling out Warren. There's a reason for it, man. I'm trying to tell you that dollar. See, I'm truly funded by the people, so I don't have to kiss nobody's butt, man. I don't have to, man. It's all about the people. Holliswood, we are surrounded by fire. Brazil, Siberia, Alaska, Indonesia. All other issues are meaningless besides the climate crisis. I don't know if they're meaningless, but yes, you're right. These are all very important issues. Amen. So an older lady asked me in the grocery store parking lot what the Wolfpack was, looking at my bumper sticker. It is a conversation starter. Hey, thank you. We're going to get even bigger bumper stickers. I need to get the bigger size. I'm working on it. Just had to get what I could do with my budget, you know. But I'm going to continue. As more people join, the budget gets bigger, and I get more stuff. It ain't going to stop. Maggie Smith, Amen says they were polled in Iowa and Tulsi. Not an option. All right. Woo! I'm gone, guys. That's enough. I see you. Much love to you. Peace.